Okay, we are live. Hi, chat. How are you guys doing? Uh, whew. So we are going to get to see it. We are going to get to see it. Um, we are going to see Chille's Day of Reckoning. So, see here, Karam, you got first again. Congratulations. Neo Phantom, greetings. Hi. Yes, so guys, this is Chille's Day of Reckoning. The video is coming out. There's actually a preview we can see, which apparently is pretty good. And so it's gonna. I think it's gonna spoil a little bit for us, but um, we. What's that? I haven't even gotten that far yet. I haven't got that far yet. Um, also, I'm a little disappointed. Apparently, YouTube is fighting me here on making this thing live. Um, hold on here, guys. We're trying to. What? Yeah, I set up the thing and then it doesn't do what I want to do. Yeah, I put in a thumbnail. Why is it not working? That's great. Oh well. So yes, guys, he was facing trial. We're gonna go over the video again in a minute here. So yes, Chille. Now here's the thing though. Ultimately, I mean, at the end of the day, yes, is it kind of funny to see Chille get what's coming to him? To an extent it is. But this guy is yeah, the video is getting uploaded right now to us. But the actual thing we could start with is the actual arrest that he suffered, because that is that's the real interesting part of this, because that's what this case is all about, and it's the it's ultimately what happened to Chille that we want to watch. So we're gonna go ahead and watch that real quick here, and we'll get kind of caught up. Katos, hi from Long Beach. Yes, it's time. Let's see. So, do I feel inadequate in the presence of a constitutional law scholar? Yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. He is awesome. He is daddy. Chille is the most amazing man in the world. That's all I could say. I cannot, in my presence, I collapse. Um, Porcelain says his obsession with butt stuff does not hold up well. Well, yes, Chille has an interesting history. Whiskey says, is it up? It should be up in a second. They said they were rendering it. So we are hoping it's out by now. But if it's not, we'll switch over to the actual video of him getting arrested, because that's where we kind of need to start from. But let's see. Our Nevada judges. Let's see here. In videos. Hold on one second, guys. Okay, guys. So it's actually set for 8:15. It should be up. So that's when we'll know. We got a couple of minutes. So we got a couple of minutes to get ready. We have time to get to it. Yes, Unhung Hero for $2 says, Oh, I'm gonna come for sure. Yes, yes. I think a lot of people are. A lot of us are, and that's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, and hope you guys enjoy the little Chille finally put a finally got a dunce cap for him as part of the thumbnail. Chille, our Childo, finally got a dunce cap. Let's see here. So we're gonna watch the little bit. If you guys aren't aware, Chille is basically kind of like a sovereign citizen nutbag, and he has an issue with the notification for this is an hour late. What the fuck? Well, I started at 7 and then I'm back on, so that's why. So if Chille gets a phone inside, what are the chances are he audits the showers? Well, actually, I'm worried for Chille because somebody like him, he's not going to take well to the police telling him what to do. And then even worse for Chille, the minute he runs his mouth in one of those pods, I mean, those dudes are going to book him. And he thinks he's a wrestler and a fighter. He'll find out what dudes in there want to do. I mean, so either he's going to have to fight, and I mean, he might fight, but I don't know what's going to happen to him. Wilder says, "Why won't Senpai notice me?" I see you there. I see you there. Yes, get your trifolds. Get your trifolds out. So Chille's gonna, and that's the thing. Like, I hope he stays okay in there because it's very easy to get hurt and injured. So I hope he's safe in there. I mean, as much as we want to laugh at him, things happen. I don't want anything bad to happen to him, just because that's that's just not cool. I mean, that's kind of how I look at it. So that's it's kind of where we are with that. So we're gonna watch his actual arrest first, so you guys understand where he's coming from here. The video's getting uploaded still. It's getting uploaded still. So his attorney's got to change his stats. No, Chille went by himself. This attorney didn't win. This attorney didn't lose. Chille did it on his own. He did it on his own. You're going to be listening to the federal civil rights lawsuit. I am totally fine with that. Because I will cite the case of Lamau v. Bruh. There. And hold on one second. All right, guys, so we're going to get going on that. So here we are. And this is from Welsh News Network. It's one of the people that kind of helps do all the Chille tracking out there. But he did a better enhanced audio version of Chille getting arrested. So here's what Chille did. He basically rolled up on a traffic stop, and we'll go from there. So, thank you. Oh, this is actually after he already got arrested. Hold on, guys. I need to go back and find Chille, because there's body cam of him getting arrested. And where is it? Crap, I just had it. Chille Decastro, body cam. I think this will show it. And I think Chille will show it here. Let's see if Chille can show it. Yeah. Here we go. So this is actually from Chille. This is from Chille. This is actually pretty good. Even better, what from the source? Chille Decastro. And Chille, this is fair use. I am offering criticism and commentary. I dare you to try to copyright sue me. Let's see what you got. I mean, I'll even critique your videography. But yeah, listen to the wind. He doesn't even have like a shotgun mic on his camera, or like with a dead cat on it. Nothing. He's just letting the wind blow through. Very unprofessional. But here we go. This is him walking up to a traffic stop and kind of starting everything off. And guys, joining us is hello.
Hi. Yeah, I can get Dali.
Sure, if you want, if you can, yeah, send it out to him.
Sure.
Chugi Show Live is saying, is Chille a content creator? He's a sovereign citizen that makes content. That's how I'll put it. That's how I'll put it for now. So here we hold on, I'm fixing that chat. Yeah, so that is. There we go. We'll fix that. Save. Yeah, this is what's going to happen. Was it for this encounter? Yes, it's for this encounter that he got in trouble. So here we go. Here we go. This is Chille doing his thing. Why is this? Oh, figuring out what happened here. All right, here we go. Here we. You know what? That's why I didn't put it in the right spot. I usually go up top. Duh. It's easier up there. So here
You
we go,
usually go on
guys.
top. So does Chille.
Well, Chille's more of a bottom, I think. Ultimately.
No. Well, he says he's going to be on
So
top.
we got a couple minutes, but here we go, Chaz.
You good? Why'd they say that you were pulled over?
Before he released.
Oh, I see.
Like, what a tip.
Oh, I see. Oh, gotcha.
You can film, but you need to stay away from my driver. Back up. Back up.
Oh, that was weird. That like went off. Needs green screen content on his chest too. Yeah. So yeah, it's a little loud, but the officer's allowed to tell him back up. That's totally legal, and that's fine. There are some things I think when I even talked about this at the beginning, I would have told to Chille that probably would have helped him, but he didn't do the right way. So, and this is one of them right here.
That's very clear.
You're going to detain me how? In which way? Actually, I'm standing right here. I'm at least 10 feet away, officer. I got to tell you, I'm a constitutional law scholar. You can do whatever you want, but just understand something. Your name will go on the lawsuit. Mind your own business. Mind your own business. I'm a member of the press. Go get in your car and do your job, little doggy. Go feed her.
You're being detained right
Now, if we just back up a hair, I think there's something he could have done. And that simple thing is like this line right here in the parking lot.
Yep.
If Chille would have probably gone over to that line and stood over there, he probably could have gotten away with saying, I'm reasonably far enough away from you. But instead, he's still over on this, basically right over here.
Yeah.
And, moving a couple feet over, like another 2-3 feet back, he probably would have had a legitimate excuse. He could have defended himself that he wasn't that close. But as of right here, I mean, the lens distorts everything a little bit. But I think he's probably still near the front end of the car. If he was back away from the car, I think he probably would have had a fair argument.
Calling him little doggy isn't that great either, though.
Video are vastly different. You're whispering compared to how the video is blowing our ears out.
Even right now?
When you play it, yeah, you're quiet.
Oh, why not? Okay. So yeah, guys, I think he could have done a lot here. Yeah, sorry it's blown you out. I'll adjust the volume a little bit here. Hold on. We'll turn it down a hair so you guys don't have your earwapes.
I'm a member of the press. Go get in your car and do your job, little doggy. Go feed her.
You're being detained right now.
Okay, then detain me. Oh, she's free. You're going to detain a journalist?
Yes.
2015, Rodriguez.
Over my car.
Don't put your hands on me.
Come over.
Don't touch me. Don't put your fucking hands on me.
I am going to put my hands on
No, you're not. I gotta make sure. Hey guys, make sure you guys get my.
Now, the neat thing is, yes, he can. Yes, he can put his hands on you. I've said this before. When the cop tells you you're under arrest, the game is over. You might be right, and you could probably win later, but now in Chille's case, like you got to deal with the charges. You got to, as I keep saying, you got to take your pinch like a man. Now he keeps on arguing about this case, U.S. v. Rodriguez.
Yeah.
That was a case of once the stop's over, there's nothing else they could do. Well, you created a new situation. He terminated that traffic stop and is now going after Chille. This isn't he's citing case law and he's probably citing the holding correctly. I forget how he cites it here, but it doesn't apply to him.
Because it's about the traffic stop. That the case law is about traffic stop, right?
Well, no, it's the idea that this guy had no probable cause to come after Chille once the stop was over. Well, Chille was a separate intervening event.
Yep.
I mean, that's almost like if he saw a bank robbery going on and he told the driver, go away, I got to stop the bank robbery. The bank robbers are going to be like, you can't touch us, So, but yeah, we got a couple more minutes here.
Oh, so you ended the stop, you dunce cap. Did you just end the stop? So that's
Yes.
the 2015
Come over here to my car.
No.
Come over here.
No.
In addition.
Did he just
Bring
say
your
dunce cap?
supervisor, please.
Yes, he likes to call people dunce caps. That's why I put a dunce cap on him in the thumbnail.
Dunce cap.
Yes.
Like dunce cap, like Love Shack, glove slap.
Yeah.
Dunce cap, baby, dunce cap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chille. It's he sees himself in a lot of people, a lot of projection. But
He's
anyways,
gonna
here
see
we go.
himself in a lot of
This,
people.
yeah, he thinks everybody's stupid but him.
Mm.
So, and here we go. Here's Chille doing what he did. It's great.
Bring your supervisor, please. Don't touch
Over
me.
to the car.
You don't get to put your hands on me. Don't grab me. Don't grab me. This, you're not. First get your supervisor out here. You're not just going to grab me and throw me on the ground. You've already released you've already released her. This is 2015 Rodriguez versus United States. I'll walk right in front of your car. Let's go. Sure, come on. Come on.
You need to set the phone
There you go.
down.
No. I'm a constitutional law scholar. You can't take away my
Set the phone down on the hood.
I'm now.
You're being detained. Now you're going to put hands on me.
No.
Come over here.
Why are you grabbing me?
Come over here.
Sure.
Over here.
Let the phone roll.
I don't care about the phone.
Why are you grabbing
Turn
me?
around.
I'm a
Turn
member
around.
of the press.
Turn around.
I'm not doing anything.
You're being detained.
I'm not
now.
doing
Turn
anything.
around.
Get your supervisor.
Stop.
Are your cameras on? Are your cameras on?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, then
Put
don't
your hands
put me
behind
in
your back.
No.
You're going in handcuffs.
Why?
Put your hands behind your back.
Can we slow down? Get supervisor. I haven't done anything wrong.
Put your hands behind your back.
I haven't done anything wrong.
Don't make
If you want to
contact.
detain me, then put detain
I am
me
putting
here.
you in handcuffs.
So there we go. And Chille kept fighting, and then eventually Chille put on the torture cuffs. Eventually Chille put on the baldo like a good little boy. So,
well, he had to, didn't he? Because he was being
Yes.
tortured.
They told, the tough guy act turned off real quick. That's the thing. He acts like he could fight, but he doesn't fight then when it finally happens.
He whined for about
Yes.
half an hour about his elbow being pinched.
Yes. And then he's suing in federal court. They hurt my nerve in my arm. They pinched me so hard. Well, that case is currently in federal court, and he tried to stall and stop it so this could get done. And then, so this is all kind of left out there. Stephen Cooper gifted 10 memberships. Thank you, Stephen. Whoever gets one of those I know is going to be very appreciative. Nicholas Kreuzer for $5 says, YouTube and Google just completely fucked their searches at some point, man. Yes. Unhung Hero says, I just hope he learns the meaning of Glock Dookie.
What's that mean? What do I want to know?
You'll learn when you're older.
And
And then Unhung Hero for $2 says, oh, I'm going to come. For sure. Like I said, this is an okay time to come. It's an okay time to come. But guys, I did want to say hello to Hella Excited Utterance.
Hey.
You guys can, doing Hearsay for Days, among other shows.
Well, now I've been introduced to the world of Chille.
Yes. Last night you did Scott Peterson as innocent.
I did.
Yes.
Changed my mind. Yes,
Mhm.
changed my mind. So yeah,
Yes.
it's cool. I'm doing that late at night for the Eastern people
Mhm.
because it happened in California. So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah.
So and guys, as much as I will bag on Chille, I will say he does some things right. He does say don't talk to the police. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I also agree with Chille when he says, film the police. Always film the police. There's nothing wrong with that. Actually, two very smart things. Two very, very, very smart things to do. But it's literally every other thing he says and does that does not work. And that are very, very problematic. So that's Chille's problem. That's Chille's ultimate problem here. And that's the thing I don't, he's never willing to admit he's wrong. And that's the thing. Lawsuit after lawsuit he's filed has failed. And most of these fail because he doesn't get things done on time. And then when he does stuff on time, it's just weird garbage that loses. And he keeps losing on the merits. Now his answer is all the judges are crooked too. But really, they're not all crooked. But he loses every lawsuit he does. He's left all kinds of people hanging in the wind. Across America, there are people in Ohio, Oklahoma, Texas, that he's left just floating, like hanging in the breeze, and he never helps them. Chille says, don't talk to the cops, and his videos are nothing but berating the police when they aren't doing anything. And then as soon as he gets arrested, he starts screaming and pleading with them, every time. That's what he does. KT sounds like Kim Blandino. Kim's a little more sophisticated, I would argue. Kim Blandino's actually, I think Kim Blandino would be a nice guy. Chille's a crazy man. So, Chille's borderline psychopathic, ultimately. So that's the problem with Chille. They're saying, heads up, we postponed the premiere. They're still processing the video. They have a trailer, though, but I don't know if we want to show that because it gets going pretty good.
Did you see the arraignment?
Yes. We already saw the arraignment. We can we can go through that real quick, guys, if you want to see. So Chille got another charge of obstructing and dealing with the police. And that one's just as funny. And we can actually...
It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
We watched it today. It was good.
Oh, you guys watched the whole thing where he's yelling at the cops on the motorcycles? Yes.
Just the 20 minutes of arraignment from...
Oh, okay. Well, every person he befriends, everybody he befriends, he leaves hanging. You know, he was like, I'm going to solve this guy who got murdered by the police up here in Ohio. Took off with the money. That lady, having a kid, he just took off. That lady, he just grifted all kinds of people. Like, he just leaves people in his wake. Just ripped off, all over. Content lasagna. The funny thing is, we already did that once. I did. That was one of my, that video's from many moons ago, but I actually did a video about Chille Decastro and the trifold of stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate you, bringing it up, but yeah, it's, let me see here. It's a little long, but I did cover it, and I think it's actually really good content. Well, here, I'll bring it up. So, this is where we did it. So, this is actually over a year ago. It's been a long time. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that different setup in here. Look at that different setup in here. It was a different time, chat.
It's baby Sean.
Yeah. So that is the video, and I'll actually put a link to it down below. But yes, his trifold is garbage. He cites cases that don't work, that are just completely awful everywhere. The cases don't work unless you happen to be in a handful of jurisdictions. So I look more like Alvin Bragg there. Oh my gosh.
And that's a big problem to me, because it's like he's selling that thing.
Yeah, and people are using it. I can
and
only
he says
imagine
it's
how many
your
people get
protection.
sued. Yeah.
Yeah, he says when he does that whole thing when he puts it up, he goes, put it up in your visor, and it's your protection from the police or something. And it's like, well, hang on, how can that be your protection unless you happen to be in one state for that particular rule and then another state for a different particular rule at that particular time? That makes no sense. Your product is defective, sir.
Well, a lot of things are defective.
Yeah. He sells snake oil. It's just really maddening.
Snake oil.
It's very
maddening.
Maddening.
It truly is sad. And the people he has ripped off and screwed over.
Well, I watched a video on his channel where he had a bunch of townspeople around, and they all had bought his story. And
was it when he was in Ohio?
It might have been, because there was a lady who came up and called him out. Mm-hmm. And she was like, actually, no, the judges in this town have done a good job.
Hey, Dolly, how you doing?
And you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I can bring up, well, he has an older trifold.
Does he?
Yeah, he had an older one.
Trifold 1.0.
Trifold 1.0, yeah.
Well, let me see if I can
find
like
Zelda,
it.
like his Triforce?
Hold on one second.
I'll give you two.
Oh, I'm quiet. Is this guy's... Do I sound better now? People are saying I'm quiet. So
You sound delightful.
Okay. I'm trying to find, because I had a copy of his trifold somewhere on my computer, and I saved it, and it was just absolute
You didn't
garbage.
buy it, did you?
No, I used the promo code at the time, free trifold. I wasn't paying for it.
Oh, free
He was giving it away.
Oh, you had to pay for the digital version?
Oh yeah.
Good lord,
No.
even Bronca gives his like book away for
Yeah.
digital
Like
book
the
away
song
for
goes,
free.
"I'm a hustler, baby. Just want you to know." It ain't where you
Are we talking
been.
about what, David? Are you talking about the demented crayon scratchings? What's a crayon scratching? What are you on about?
Clam?
David's doing
Hey,
voice to
David,
text
if you
again.
want to join us, you can. This will be really fun when we get to the show. But yeah, what's the trifold here? Hold on, let me try to show you guys. Where did it go?
Oh, the trifold. Are you talking about the demented? Yeah, the trifold. Yeah.
Yeah, because I have a copy of it somewhere. I think I still have it in my emails. Hold on.
Crayon scratchings. Oh, yeah.
It's
David might have been talking about the spaz map.
the spaz map is a different thing there. I have that
I'm
somewhere,
impressed.
too.
The spaz map is, I couldn't make anything uglier if I tried. And
It's
sometimes
like
I challenge
Charlie
myself.
and It's Always Sunny.
Oh, no, it's even worse. It's just like a beautiful mind thing. And
Yeah.
also, guys, hello and Rumble. It finally is working, so Rumble, you should be up. But let's see if I can get my... Oh, let's see here. Delete laws. Let's see here. Go all the way back. 1 of 30. 1 of 30. Hold on, let me see here. Trifold. Let's see. Where did it go? Okay, maybe it went here. I'll have to look at my other Gmail account. Trifold.
The trifold.
Yeah,
The
I
mystery
have
of
it.
the trifold.
It's really... You know what? Hold on. I'll have to pull it up off somewhere. I have it saved somewhere.
As a designer, I'm personally offended by the trifold.
Well, there's a lot to be offended when it
Well,
comes
why
to
don't you go ahead and do some pro bono work for him and design a new trifold?
Well, I thought about doing that, but I didn't want to give him ideas, and then he could make money off of it. Because that would be the thing. Like he would take it and start making money, and then I get really mad.
Oh, that is the look when Hella is pissed at me.
So that would be the scary part about it. Let me see here. Where is...
I cannot believe he paid, like, doesn't even give you an option to print it out and fold it yourself, like really cheap.
Did you guys find it, or are you guys looking at it right now?
The trifold?
Yeah.
I
thought you guys were looking for it here. Hold on here.
Right.
Where
I can screen capture it for you.
Okay, it's still processing, so hold on, guys.
It's fine.
Oh wow,
Jesus.
they're raking in the money over on our Nevada judges. Dang.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so much. They're monetized, huh?
Yeah.
Wait, they're monetized, but Vealhammer isn't?
No, but they're not
Vealhammer's
really
monetized.
They're not. No, he's not.
Okay.
Oh, he's not.
Okay.
Oh.
Better
No.
not be.
But no. So yeah, it's not normal for a judge's or a courthouse's
Well, this is not.
fee
This
to
is
be
not.
monetized.
They're not
They
a judges.
They
are
want
not
$9 to print
guys. They're not affiliated with the judges. They call themselves our Nevada judges, but they're not affiliated with the courthouse or anything like that.
I see. Yeah, I wondered about that.
They're not part of that. So
Thanks.
I
Yeah,
just want to make sure
okay.
that's clear, because those guys, they're actually pretty cool. They do a lot of neat stuff. Yeah. I just want to make sure I just want to make sure that that's fair to them, because
No, that makes sense. Yeah, I did wonder, because I was like, hang on, this seems a little bit commercial. It's like, I thought it can't be the actual them.
No.
Yeah.
No, I
That
wasn't
makes
saying that.
sense.
I just mean that they like post trials and stuff like that. And Veilhammer, did they get monetized though? The Vegas count?
No.
Okay.
Well, are they? You say are they reusing content?
Yeah.
They put like all sorts of graphics over them, and they make comments and stuff like that. So it's
Okay.
Yeah.
it's a bit different.
Oh, people are
Anyway.
asking what do they do? Oh yeah, no, they do well. They film a lot of stuff, so I mean they put their marks on it because why not? It's theirs to do that with. And God dang it, you know what? I don't know where I got this from on my computer. I can't find it anymore.
Okay, because in that video that you just brought up and you've linked in
Yes.
chat, you have screenshots of the
Yes.
trifold, and I can just go into there and make screenshots of it for you out of there.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I also have the actual raw thing of it I made. So hold on here. Let me.
Yeah.
I'll figure out something here. Hold on, chat. Hold on my chattel. That's what they are. They're my property.
They're yes. We're a cult. I am 7.
Okay, let's see here. Let's try this.
There's always a way. They're only pixels when it comes down to it. He can't sell pixels.
Well, he does for $9 printed home.
Yeah. Which at first when he was doing it, yeah, he could give away the digital for free. He's like, oh, if you can't afford it, do that. I'm like, well, I'm not paying for this garbage. I'll make fun of it. I wasn't paying for it, so. Anyways, hold on. Yeah, here we go, guys. I got the trifold. I saved it. I saved the original trifold. Chille will get mad at me and say, this is not the real one anymore. It's like, well, it's real to me, Chille.
Well, we can make fun of both. I mean, which one would you like us to make fun of? Just choose.
Yeah.
Send us the latest one. We'll make fun of that.
Well, okay, guys. So the trifold is Chille's idea. You could basically have it with you. It'll address. It's like a cop survival guide, and that was what he was trying to do. And it was 2-sided, and it had these 6 panels on each side, and obviously you folded it like a pamphlet.
Are you looking at it?
I love. I'm bringing it up right now. I'm trying to save up the last part of it.
Sweet.
So, but yeah, he calls it a trifold, but it's a pamphlet. And
yeah, it's more than 3 folds. It's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, you could
5
fold
folds.
it. Well, depending on how he wanted to present it, but he called it a trifold because you'd fold it 3 times and just have it accordion out.
Oh,
And-
hold on. Is there a verdict?
What's you're saying? Hold on for what?
Verdict, Howard trial.
Oh, there is. Oh, well, it's beginning
Really?
at 8. They said 8:30. They're premiering, so.
Okay. Just letting you know.
We'll do Howard after this. So that's what we'll do. So guys, do I make a burner account so you can say what you're thinking? Say whatever you gotta say, Charlie. Do whatever you gotta do, man. It's all good, man. It's all good. All right, so I'm gonna open up the trifold so you guys can see it. Let me. Oh, come on. Why is this? Live television, everybody. Live television. Okay. So there are 2 sides to the trifold. There is, and I forget which order these are actually in, so. There's side 1 and there's side 2. And this is your survival guide to dealing with the police. This brilliant undertaking. So here is side 1. And side 1 starts off with...
Wow.
We're going to have to open this up just a hair. Let's see if I can zoom in just a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so side 1
God.
is saying to let me talk. Saying the police can't tell you to stop talking. And he cites a case called Houston v. Hill. And it says the charge interrupting a cop. And it says the holding. And this is actually a Supreme Court case. And it said a certain amount of expressive disorder is inevitable in a society. That's true. Houston v. Hill was a situation, though, where the police specifically had a law that said if you interrupt the cops, you could be arrested. So the cop's talking, you interrupt him, you get arrested. And Hill actually went out and was intentionally getting arrested to challenge the law. You are allowed to interrupt the police, but you could still get arrested if you're not following rules. So, I have every right to speak over you if need be, is what he says. That's not how that works. Then the other one right here he talks about is Chaplinsky versus New Hampshire, which covers offensive words, fighting words. So Chaplinsky was a 1942 case where a guy who was a Jehovah's Witness was protesting the war, among other things, and the sheriff came out and said, you got to leave, and the sheriff was escorting him out, and he called the sheriff a goddamn racketeer and a goddamn fascist, which in 1942, those were serious words. If you called your sheriff a goddamn racketeer today, I think he'd laugh at you, and a lot of cops might not understand what words you're saying. But back then, the Supreme Court said those words are not protected by the First Amendment, and those are fighting words that if you utter them, the utterance of those words causes the injury. Now today, that's like if you use racial slurs towards somebody, that's the injury. I had a case where we actually tried to argue this about a month and a half ago, and the judge ended up buying our argument, but it was fun. I got to actually make a constitutional argument.
Cool.
Then he uses this one here: no parking along the highway. He uses a case called these two are Supreme Court cases. He then uses Tech Lines or Tesh Lines v. Danforth, and he went on and on about this. He made multiple videos about this case. It's a case from Mississippi in 1943, and the issue was that the roads weren't wide enough in Mississippi, and it was dealing with cars that were too wide going down the road. Okay, and that a car had pulled over because it was broken, all right? For whatever reason, the car had stopped. And that travel also includes the right to stop. And that makes sense. You might have to stop along the highway. He thinks that allows you to stop and pull over wherever you want. And he cites that case as though it's going to work everywhere, and it doesn't work everywhere. It only works in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And for Tech Lines, it was a completely separate issue than what he's applying it for. So the facts of the ruling don't necessarily apply to him. He cites a case here, U.S. v. Williams. It's a case out of the District of Oregon, a federal case. And there was an issue about how the search was consensual and that consent had been revoked. And the guy actually won a motion to suppress at the federal level for his drugs. So it all worked out. But that doesn't work for you because that's only the holding in the District of Oregon.
Yeah.
So if you're in any of the other 92 federal court districts, it doesn't work. I Smell Marijuana. This is one, Commonwealth v. Barr. And you guys probably listened to that one a little bit earlier, right? Did you guys end up listening to that? Yeah. Commonwealth v. Barr is the state of Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, versus a guy named Barr. Not Bill Barr, not the former Attorney General. And yes, in Pennsylvania and in Massachusetts and in other states, the smell of marijuana alone wasn't enough probable cause because there's marijuana available as medicinal purposes. And I had actually made this argument before with cops. They're like, I smell marijuana, but marijuana could be legal. He's like, well, eventually I checked and it wasn't. But I said, but you initially don't know that it's illegal.
Yep. So you can't.
But
possible.
I've been overruled. I've lost suppression hearings because of that. So, and he thinks because it's the Commonwealth, meaning the colony of Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, is older than the United States, and that's true. It was one of the original 13 colonies. So he's arguing that this supersedes all the laws in America. It's like, but it doesn't.
How often do you win suppression hearings?
Not much. I mean, it's just like going to trial. I mean, generally, things are stacked against you, and
Sure.
Yeah.
the state. I mean, I wish I won a lot more of them, and I think that I think ultimately I should win a lot more of them. But it's like if you try to appeal them, the courts generally are like, well, they had poor dopers, so. Oh my God, Moreno won in Ohio. Oh, lad, that's good news.
The guy who tried to flee or allegedly tried to flee.
No, he didn't try to flee.
Okay.
Bernie Moreno. He might. Yeah, he's probably gonna lose a share of Brown anyway.
Oh,
But yes,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
yet that you have to answer this part. This is one of the few parts he's right on. Fifth Amendment. I don't have to tell you a goddamn thing. True. I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent.
Well, why
That's-
doesn't he?
Because he's an idiot. He's got power trip issues. But this is like when he's true when the cops say, license registration, proof of insurance. Now the cops in America will say like, is the information on this correct? He won't answer that question. I think that's a bad idea because if the cops don't know if your information's valid, you could cause yourself more problems. They're saying it's a couple more minutes. But yeah, we're waiting, and I still can't. It's still not uploaded yet. We're waiting, chat. But when they ask you where you're going, like, so I don't know about in Australia, like the cops will ask you, hey, where you going, what you doing, where'd you come from, guys. I know the Daniel Howard verdict's in, but we'll get to that in a minute. So we'll get to that in a minute. I'm sorry. So I don't know how that works in Australia, but here, like, they'll ask you that, like, hey, where you going? I don't have to tell you. I don't tell them. Where you going? Where you coming from? Sorry, I don't answer the questions. Now, that said, if you're trying to catch a break from them, you might want to explain things, but you don't have any right to. I could say, sorry, I don't answer questions, and he can't do anything about that. Now, if he asks you questions about, like, is this your car? You know, you could still say no. Like, do you have any please write my ticket or go away. Those things.
It's pretty difficult. Like, if you say to them, I'm not, well, what's none of your business, or I just don't want to answer you. Like they'll keep you there. They'll keep asking you questions. That's the problem. If you really want to be on your way, then you're better off just telling them and being nice to them, and they'll let you go.
Well, as I say, yeah, here it's a little different. You can, now, like, I tell people, it's almost up. It's almost up.
Ooh.
Oh, they deleted it? Oh, here we go. Oh, I think they're having a processing issue.
Ugh.
They're trying. I'm not mad at them. They're doing their thing. Or maybe they're just edging us really hard. I don't know.
Maybe.
Now, here that doesn't work like that. They can't keep going and can't keep, running you raw like that here. Eventually they gotta do something. So, yeah, they did take it down. Let's see why. Yeah, I think that's ridiculous. They took it down.
So it could be a while.
So
The verdict
hold on
just
one
happened.
second. Cool. People are coming over. Okay, we might be getting extra. So it's stuck at 99% and it went down. The Aussie cops will sick their koalas on you. Yes. So.
Right.
So
Okay. I mean,
he's got this part, and then there's a second page.
Right.
And there's a there's a cat.
Yeah,
so
he's
there's
about
a
to
second.
attack me.
There's a second page, and the second page is this one here. Now, the second page of this covers some other topics. So the first one is watch your mouth.
Okay. You've been patient.
It's a case
really?
of Cohen v. California. Now, in Cohen, a guy walked through a courthouse with a jacket on that said "fuck the draft" on it, and this is back in like 1971 during the Vietnam War. So the judge tried to stop him, and this is a vulgarity and cursing issue, and Justice Harlan said one man's vulgarity is another man's lyric. It said by choosing these words you get to know the depth of my feelings. He says the First Amendment allows free speech in all forms. I choose the words I use. My speech is not limited. That's not always true. You're still limited. You can be limited. Remember, we just talked about Chaplinsky v. New Hampshire. Your speech is not limited. So as much as Chille tries to do this already it starts to get a little contradictory.
Mm-hmm.
And the First Amendment law is a little, but generally speaking, there are multiple cases where they say the police have to endure gruff language because they're expected to have a little bit of a thick skin. They're supposed to deal with it.
Yeah.
And then this one here, pat down, Terry versus Ohio. So Terry versus Ohio actually happened about 20 minutes away from here.
Really?
John Terry and some other guys were spotted by Martin McNulty. What was his name? Martin. Oh, God, what was his name? I'm trying to remember. Anyways, he was the detective in the Cleveland Police Department. And he spotted Terry and a couple guys. Looks like they were getting ready to case a joint and do a robbery. So he rolls up to him and runs him down and says, I think you guys are doing something illegal. Basically shoves him up against the wall and starts frisking him and finds guns on him. And John Terry appealed it and went all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States. And this is 1968. So this is the heart of the civil rights movement. And it was a charge, and ultimately was a charge about carrying a concealed weapon. And the idea is that the police have the right to search you for weapons for their personal safety if they believe they have a reasonable, articulate suspicion that criminal activity is afoot. Notice, it became not only, normally for a search, you need probable cause. That's under the Fourth Amendment. Search and seizure without a warrant and probable cause. Okay. Well, now, and this is the only other part I agree with Chille. The Fourth Amendment has been heavily eroded over time, mainly because of the war on drugs. And Terry v. Ohio is a major erosion of the Fourth Amendment because no longer do they need probable cause to search you, just a hunch that something's up. And they can search you for their safety. And if they pat you down and they find a gun, well, if you're not allowed to have that gun, Or if they're patting you down and they find drugs. There became a case over that. Then it became a case of, there's a case called Mickerson v. Minnesota, I think it was called, where the police were patting a guy down and they found like a lump on him in his pocket. And they started manipulating the lump. And it was, hold on one second.
Manipulating the lump in his pocket.
Anyway, so it became like an
His
idea of
penis?
like plain, there became an issue of like, can you feel for it? How much manipulation can you do? And then there's Turner v.
Sounds like
Drivers.
something I'd cover.
Turner v. Drivers only valid in the 5th District, so Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi. Give me your ID, Johnson v. Arizona. Passengers don't have to show their ID. That's not exactly the right holding there. Bradley, U.S. versus Bradley, is not. That one's, I think, a 5th Circuit as well. And then U.S. v. Carroll, because it's up now. U.S. v. Carroll was the automobile exception, and yes, it was started because of bootlegging. They were searching for contraband. The only way, and he says you can warrantlessly search my car if it's only to prevent the loss of life, hot pursuit, or to seize illegal alcohol. Well, no, the illegal alcohol was contraband. They can search your car without a warrant if they suspect there's contraband in it. So it's not just for alcohol. Because think about it, they smell marijuana. What are they going to do? Search your car. If they think there's a gun in your car, what are they going to do? Search your car. If they think there's any number of things, they're going to search your car. So no, Chille, this isn't how that thing works.
They have to have reasonable suspicion that there's something in there.
Well, no, to search they need probable cause.
Probable cause,
The church
which
needs
is not a
probable
very
cause.
high bar, right?
Well, no, probable cause is it's probably there, but probable cause is I smelled marijuana, or I saw marijuana paraphernalia, or I saw the barrel of a gun poking out. Okay, well now I have probable cause to go look, or I saw ammunition strewn about the car, or I saw a gun case that was open and there's no gun in it, and none of these guys say they have a gun on them, so the gun's in the car.
It's been uploaded.
Yep. It is time.
Yeah.
It's time, chattel.
Sorry.
Yes.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yep. No, my little chattels. It's time to go. Here we go.
My precious.
Yes. Where? Hold on here. We got to bring it up. Hour and 30 minutes, chat. So we are gonna go. We are going to do this, and we're not gonna hustle. We're not gonna hustle. David, if you're there, if you want a link, let me know. We can send you a link. I know.
I think
Helen
he said
Valley
he
got
was.
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can send him a link. I think he's.
A couple of you guys sending super chats. We'll
getting
get
up
to
early
it in
in
a
the morning.
second here. Guys, we'll get to these in a second here. Conto Lasagna says, thanks for reviewing the trifold. Oh, of course. Have we confirmed that Brooks had a trifold? No. Nicholas Kreuzer says, now give it to me. Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff. Yes, I'm a hustler, baby. I just want you to know. It's not where I've been, where I'm about to go. The law offices of Dewey, fuck you, and how says, are we looking to hire Chille as a junior partner? Yes. D for $2 says, hey, motherfucker, give me that lore and this here foo. Well, I hope I gave it to you there. John Cornyn, or Cumming for $10, says, does the I smell marijuana work the other way? Can I get arrested, get in the vehicle, and then yell it out and have 20 guys swarm the car to tear it apart looking for it? Like a citizen's arrest? No. That's very clever, though. That'd be funny. And then Let's Go Brandon for 199 says, I just came. I'll try harder next time. Well, you can. All right, guys. All right, so here we go.
Let's do it.
Yes. Now we're going to go up top and watch from the gallery.
Well, he likes to be up top.
Let's see here. Is there sound?
Nope.
What? Oh my gosh, did they boomer the sound on this? Because it's not working.
Wait. Are you sharing the tab with sound?
You guys are hearing sound?
No. I'm not, but
I'm not either.
Did Dina hear sound when she had it?
I don't
Dolly,
know because there's no sound.
When you load it up, is there sound? Can you check? Cool.
I don't know why there's no sound. Literally, there's no sound for me.
No, I can't hear it here, but I can load it up here and double check it.
What the hell just happened? Hold on here, guys. Let me figure this out.
If you need me to run it, I can.
No, because I just did another video and it's working.
That's cool.
Yeah, this is what.
Yeah, it has sound for me when I play on my phone.
Okay. Hella, can you bring it up on yours because it's not working?
Could you send me the link, please?
Yeah, sure. Hold on.
No problem.
I fucking hate StreamYard.
That's weird.
Some days.
We had issues earlier in StreamYard.
Okay, it's working for me now. I don't know. StreamYard some days, dude.
Yeah.
Just a sec.
Absolutely obnoxious. Here we go, chat.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's good now.
What?
All right, Paul Chille Decastro.
Yeah. Here we go.
Oh, that's that Predator or Alien?
Okay.
Good morning, Agnes Patologist.
Are you Mr. Decastro? Can you turn off your phone, please? The one that's in your hand?
Just meeting with my lawyer. He's on his way here now. I'm just waiting for him to get there.
All right, I'm gonna wait for your attorney, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Jose Decastro, 23 CR 013015.
Good morning, Your Honor. Agnes Botello and David Cave for the record. Good morning, State.
Good morning, Mike. Me on behalf of the defendant, present with you this morning.
So I have signed 2 media requests that permit recording or photographing these proceedings, but I have not granted any other requests to record or live stream these proceedings. So I need Mr. Decastro and everybody else who wants to stay in the courtroom to surrender their phones, or you can leave.
Oh, surrender your phones. He won't have that.
She can do that though. She has the right.
Empty all of his
Yeah.
pockets.
What's that?
Empty your pockets
and give up your phones to the judge. I have to give you my phones?
Yeah.
My phones have to be here.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't really want to be part of your YouTube channel. So,
You already are.
great.
You already are.
Look at Chille being big bad. I don't take no shit from nobody. Judge says do it. Yes, Judge. Little
okay.
girl.
Yeah. That photo of him, he looks like about 20 years younger too.
Well, that's the other thing with Chille. He's got a big vanity issue. So
Hmm.
I'm not gonna get into this guy though. I'll get into someone else. I'm
No,
gonna touch him myself.
no, they're gonna go to my marshal.
Oh, he had to give up his
look,
phone.
look. That
Yeah.
is just he is so butthurt about dealing with police.
Yeah.
You know, he wanted to give him the prosecutors. Why would you give him the prosecutors, Chille? They're just the police. If you give it to them, they can search it. Why would you give it to the prosecutors, Chille? They're evil piggies too.
Yeah, they're all
He's
the
not
same.
intelligent. He's not an intelligent man.
Did you see the way they snapped it off him?
Yeah.
That was great.
Sir, I'm not gonna permit you to speak to anybody in my courtroom in that manner, and if you don't wanna apologize, I'm gonna hold you in contempt.
I apologize to the court, Your Honor.
No, you can apologize to, they've done nothing to you.
Actually, Your Honor, when you were here, you came over and gave me a directive for no reason, and started telling me what to do.
Okay,
I
well,
have all the respect and love for the court. I follow the rule of law all the time.
no, it is their job to maintain the safety and security of the courtroom.
I agree with you, Your Honor.
So, if you wanna speak like that in my courtroom, I'm gonna hold you in contempt. And if I hold you in contempt, you're going to
If you guys are having trouble hearing, refresh it because there's something weird about this. If you touch the volume, it freaks out. So just refresh.
jail. That is not my wish. Okay?
I wish you could.
All right. So I need you to empty your pockets too. Suit pocket, pants pocket.
This is illegal. This is a violation of my Fourth Amendment.
No, it isn't.
Yes,
Sir,
it is.
have you ever heard of an
What are you
iron?
glasses on me? What are you talking about?
I got you. Suit jacket.
I don't have anything on me. This is preposterous.
No, it's
This really
not.
is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Mr. Me, your phone too.
They're recording everything.
They have a media request.
Right, and I'm not recording anything. Your guy here took my phone, so he's on his phone now.
Right.
Your Honor, I had a much better relationship with the Asian judge
Take your
yesterday.
phone too?
See, and that's the thing. If I was a lawyer and they told me to get my phone, I'm like, I'll shut my phone off, but you're not getting my phone.
Yeah.
Like, because he's got client information on that. He's got all kinds of stuff. He turned
That's
his
true.
off and they left him alone. So that's nice.
That's yeah, and
No, I'm not gonna take your
you
word
act
for it. He's not
respectfully, and you'll be
All right.
treated with
Do they have
respect.
everybody's phones? Are they off?
Generally,
All right, good. All right. All right, this is the time set for the trial of State of Nevada versus Jose Decastro, 23 CR 013015. Is the state ready to proceed?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
How many witnesses do you have?
We anticipate one.
All right, is the defense ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I have your request.
Please tell me he
to convert counsel
testifies.
to standby counsel. I'm going to deny that request. Either you represent him or he should have previously requested a Ferretti canvas to represent himself. That I just consider that a delay tactic, so that request is denied. Are you ready to proceed? Otherwise, I'm assuming you are.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, will the state please call the first witness?
Yes, Your Honor. The state calls Brandon Ford, and he's in the
Oh,
interim.
darn.
Morning.
It's the officer that arrested him.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and
Oh
nothing
God,
but
he's got
the
a
truth?
Stanley Cup.
Please be seated, state your name for the record, and spell it first and
oh,
last name.
this
please.
dude.
How much lead is in the Stanley Cup?
Brandon is B-R-A-N-D-E-N, Bork, B-O-U-R-Q-U-E.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Sir, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Sir, how are you employed?
I'm a police officer with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department,
How long have you been employed with Metro?
just over 8 years.
What is your, what's your occupation there? Like, where are you assigned?
I currently am a field training officer at Summerlin Area Command.
Okay. And so are you a patrol officer
Yes, ma'am.
that also trains newer officers?
Yes.
Were you employed with Metro? I'm assuming you are. You've been employed for 8 years. Back on March 15th of 2023.
Yes, I was.
Were you a patrol officer at that time?
Yes, I was.
As a patrol officer, do you wear a uniform?
Yes, I do.
Can you describe the uniform?
It would be the same uniform I'm wearing today.
Okay, and so for the record, you're wearing a tan uniform with the logo.
He was wearing a
of
jacket,
Davis
though.
Metropolitan Police Department, located throughout your.
This is sloppy. She should have, like, he was wearing a jacket that day. So it's like, you weren't wearing this exact uniform. What would you have been wearing? What would the uniform of the day have been? And it was that green pullover windbreaker thing he had. So
Yeah, but it was
That's-
still a uniform.
yeah, but that's
Like-
this is not. But the thing is, this is not that uniform. So technically, it's
Correct.
like that's not how you were there. Like you were not in that same substantially similar condition.
Correct.
So you
and
have
yeah,
to-
you're right. It was really windy.
Yeah, and hopefully she gets to that. But she's kind of not. I'm not impressed with her questioning on this.
Mm.
Your shirt.
Yes.
Wow.
As
This is
a
our day
patrol
job.
officer, do you have access to or utilize a marked patrol vehicle?
Yes.
And can you describe what this marked patrol vehicle looks like?
It's black and white in color, and it has the LVMPD's logo on all sides.
Okay. And is it also equipped with like lights and sirens?
Yes.
Okay. And so you were employed.
It's lazy. You could use a picture as a demonstrative aid here. What does it look like? This? Yeah.
As a patrol officer back on March 15th of 2023.
Yes.
At some point in time, did you conduct a traffic stop while you were working in that capacity
Yes, I did.
on that date?
Yes.
Okay. And was that for a vehicle bearing license plate 748Z, like zebra, T like Tom, B like boy?
Yes.
And why did you stop that vehicle?
I had conducted a DMV records check on that license plate, and it came back expired and suspended.
And where is it that you stopped that vehicle?
It was 4155 South Grand Canyon, which was near Target.
Okay. Is that over on Flamingo and Grand Canyon?
Yes.
Okay, and that's here in Las Vegas, Clark County, Nevada, sir?
Yes.
And you indicated it was for a license plate that was expired and suspended?
Yes.
So when you initiated the traffic stop, what did you do, or how did you do that?
I approached the driver, let her know the reason for the stop, obtained her identifying information, registration, insurance.
Okay, and I forgot to ask you earlier, but pursuant to your uniform and as a patrol officer, are you equipped with a body worn camera?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And do you also have a radio?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And are those items, both the body worn camera and the radio, on your uniform today?
Yes, they are.
Okay, and is that how the body worn camera and or the radio were on your uniform back on March 15th of 2023?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, was your body worn camera functioning at that time?
Yes, it was functioning.
Okay. And so you made contact with the driver of that Hyundai.
Yes, I did.
How would you characterize the nature of your encounter, or the nature of your encounter with that driver?
She was cooperative with me. I explained the reason for the stop. She seemed confused, not sure exactly how it had become suspended. But she was friendly and cooperative with me.
Okay, and she identified herself.
She did. She had a picture of her license on her phone.
Okay. And at some point, sir, did you go back to your patrol vehicle to further your investigation?
I did.
And as you were, let me ask you this. When you effectuated the traffic stop on this vehicle, where did you park or stop your vehicle in relation to the Hyundai that you were stopping?
I parked approximately 10, 15 feet behind the stopped vehicle. We ended up in a parking lot.
Okay. And was the driver the sole occupant of the vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. And so when you returned to your patrol vehicle to conduct your further investigation.
Guys, it's all the way up. You'll have to
was
bump
the
up your
driver
sound
within
volume.
Eyesight?
Yes, she was.
Okay. And is it your habit?
Guys, that's as loud as I can get it. And if I touch things, for some reason, if you touch it's volume boosted, and I've got the sound all the way up. So you'll have to crank up the sound on your end.
And custom, and also your training to keep the individual that you are, dealing with within eyesight.
Yes.
And so at some point while you were still in your vehicle, in your patrol vehicle, did something occur that's causing you to have to testify before Judge Zimmerman today?
Yes, I had an unrelated person come over to start recording the traffic stop.
Okay.
Yes,
And,
unrelated person.
we talked about your body worn camera previously, but did you activate your body worn camera prior to the traffic stop?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Or, just before you initiated the traffic stop?
I initiated the stop and then I immediately activated my camera.
Okay. And how is it that body worn camera is activated on your uniform, sir?
I have a battery pack that's on my belt in the front, and I press the activation button, which is in the front.
Okay. And so is it just a tap of that activation button?
It's a double tap on the front, yes.
Okay. And how is it that you would stop recording?
I would hold down that same power button.
Okay.
Or it can be turned off. There's a toggle switch on the top that slides on and off.
Okay. Okay. And so your body worn camera was running as of, the traffic stop being initiated?
Yes.
Okay. And so you described an unrelated individual coming over to, your stop?
Yes.
Okay. Can you describe this individual?
He was a white male adult. He was wearing bright colored hoodie and blue jeans.
Okay. That individual, do you see him here in court today?
Yes, I do.
Can you please point to him and describe something he's wearing?
He's wearing a suit and a blue tie.
Your Honor, please let the record reflect identification of the defendant.
So ordered.
And so what do you do upon seeing this individual approach the driver of the vehicle you had stopped?
Initially, when I saw him, he was just recording. I ignored him, continued my records check. Then when he came over to the driver and started speaking to them, I got out of the car, approached the driver, and told Decastro to back up.
Okay. When you first noticed, so you identified the unknown or unrelated male subsequently, correct?
Yes.
And what was his name?
Jose Decastro?
Okay. And that's the individual you identified here in court?
Yes.
Okay. And so when you first laid eyes on the defendant, approximately how far away was he from the driver of the vehicle in the Hyundai?
Approximately somewhere within 5 to 10 feet.
Okay. And you indicated that he was recording?
Yes.
Okay. What did you see that led you to believe he was recording?
He had his cell phone camera pointed directly at me.
Okay. And so is that when, upon seeing him being that close to the driver, is that when you told him, you walked up to the driver of the stopped vehicle and asked Mr. Decastro to back up?
Yes, once he started talking with the driver.
Okay. And why is it that you did that, officer?
Well, I can't have unrelated people next to my traffic stops. I don't know if he's a dangerous person, armed. He could be a boyfriend of the stopped person. It's for my safety and the safety of the person I've stopped.
Okay. Because you're also in charge of the safety of the individual that this unrelated individual is making contact with. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. And so you saw it as an officer safety issue as well as a safety issue for the driver?
Yes.
Okay. And so when you approached, well, you said he was recording, the defendant was recording. At any time, did you tell him to stop recording?
No, in fact, I told him he can continue recording.
Okay. He can continue to record given what?
As long as he backed up and gave me an appropriate distance to work.
Okay. And so when you asked the defendant to back up, did he follow your order?
No, he did not.
Okay. And so what did you do next?
I gave him 3 additional warnings to back up.
Okay. And did he obey those orders?
No, he did not.
And what, if anything, did you do with the driver of the stopped vehicle, the Hyundai?
At that point, I chose to release the driver of the Hyundai and then focus my attention on Jose Decastro.
Okay. And for the record, officer, at that point in time, were you the only uniformed?
The driver
officer,
thanks
the only
you.
Officer present at the scene? And so at this
Yeah,
point,
well,
you were dealing with
it worked
out for her.
as well as
Yeah.
unrelated
She didn't get a
individuals
ticket.
Having to make
No.
contact or maintain visual of both.
Yes,
And at that point, the defendant was not being cooperative.
correct, yes.
Okay, so you release the driver of the Hyundai. What do you tell that person to let her go?
I just said that she was free to go, simply.
And subsequently, did you
You
turn
have to
your
deal with this
attention on the
idiot.
defendant?
Yes.
And can you tell Judge Zimmerman the nature of your interaction with the defendant after that?
I ordered Decastro to the front of my patrol vehicle while pointing at it and told him that he was detained
And what was the purpose of detaining him?
for obstructing my initial traffic stop at the Hyundai.
Okay. And did he obey your lawful order?
No, he did not.
And what happened next?
He continued filming me. I continued pointing toward my patrol vehicle, continued telling him he was detained. All the while, he just continued shifting his body around, recording me on the phone, and refusing to go to the car.
Okay. So what did you do in response?
I used my hand to escort him to the patrol vehicle. So I placed my hand on his shoulder, and at that point, he swatted my hand away.
And what happened next?
That's when I grabbed him by the shirt, and I spun him around, and then we ended up at the front of my patrol vehicle. We were both still standing.
At some point, did you request additional units to respond to the scene?
I did, that was before I grabbed him,
Okay.
when I initially detained him.
Okay. And, I'm sorry, once you had him at your patrol vehicle, or the front, the hood of your patrol vehicle, what happened next?
Officer Dingley, another officer in the area, had arrived, and he came over to help me handcuff.
Okay. And were you successful, or did the defendant cooperate in being handcuffed?
He did not cooperate. I told him 7 times to face my patrol vehicle. He did not listen. I told him 6 times to turn around. He did not listen. It wasn't until I told him that he was going to go to jail, that was the consequence of not listening, that he allowed us to handcuff.
Okay. And after he was handcuffed, but when he was handcuffed, was it just you and Officer Dingle present?
Yes.
Okay. Once he was handcuffed, what, if anything, happened next?
He continued to argue with my partners, Officer Dingley and some other officers that were starting to show up. And then I focused my roles in completing the report and calling the sergeant because he requested a supervisor.
Okay. And at some point, was he arrested for account of obstructing a public officer?
Yes.
And also for resisting a public officer or resisting arrest?
Yes.
And was he, at any point in time during your interaction with him or your continued visual of his interaction with other officers, did he cooperate with any of the officers present at the scene?
No, he kept shifting around, and normally we have people stand still in front of our car, and I could hear him arguing with the other officers.
Hey, I gotta go. Thanks for the invite. I will see you later.
See you, Deli. See you, Dolly. Have a great day.
You indicated you had your body worn camera turned on at this time.
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity to look at your body worn camera prior to court today?
Yes, I did.
If I were to show you a snippet of it, and Your Honor, we're going to be screen sharing through Zoom.
They're going to show the body cam we checked out right at the beginning of the show, guys.
Takes a minute. Okay. Officer, are you able to see, there's not a screen over there, so I might have to bring mine over to you with the court's permission. Okay. Okay. Officer, I'm showing you my computer screen. Is it fair to say that what's being shared on the screen as well as what's showing up on my computer screen are 2 files, one labeled 416b.mp4, the other one labeled 468, number sign 1.mp4.
Yes.
Okay. I am just gonna.
Hey.
I put For
Where'd
the
he go?
record, Your Honor, all body worn camera footage have been
Dolly had to go.
disclosed to the defense well in advance of today's trial. I'm gonna just show you a brief snippet of the one labeled 468 underscore number sign 1.mp4. Do you recognize what's depicted here?
Yes, this is the initial Hyundai that I had stopped on traffic stop.
Okay, and so do
Didn't
you
stop to
recognize
say
this
goodbye.
particular file as the body worn camera of your interaction first with the Hyundai and then the
That's what I thought, Ariel.
on March 15th of 2023?
Yes,
Okay, and does this show the time that you activated your camera?
yes,
Okay, similar to what you testified to earlier?
yes,
And you've had an opportunity to see this entire 12 and a half minute long video, is that right?
yes,
Does it fairly and accurately depict the traffic stop and also your interaction with the defendant on the date and time that we've been discussing,
yes,
at the location that we've been discussing?
yes,
Okay, Your Honor, I move to admit and subsequently publish the file labeled 468 underscore number sign 1.mp4.
That's
No objection.
admitted and published.
Thank you. And let me just join that.
I will just say real quick, guys, I think Chille probably does have a defense about the initial stop that he was far enough away. I think the 10 or so feet he was away probably is going to be good enough. I'm not sure what the court's going to hold. But the rest of it, fighting and the obstructing and all that, yeah, I think Chille's kind of up, Crap Creek. If he'd have just, taken the arrest, he probably could have challenged the obstructing. But he didn't help himself.
Nope. He was a rude ass.
Well, yes, but that's still.
Damn.
Yes, guys, this is the prosecutor.
He's a prosecutee.
That's the prosecutor. This is Chille and his attorney.
Yeah, it's the microphone.
What in God's name was that?
Permission to just put it up.
Feedback.
Yeah.
Away from the microphone.
Hope that helps you guys. I drew little things. Oh.
Lordy.
Oh, why didn't they know this ahead of time?
They had time to put all these graphics on. Like, couldn't fix this.
Because that's not something they can control. Can I'm just using the draw? I mean, it's called a page marker. It's an extension.
Cool. 허연 날씨가 알아?
I don't know. Guys, this is the cops are there trying to run the license and everything. Yes, Chille does testify from what I understand. This is the prosecutor, guys, down here.
Her name's not very Asian.
I skip this part. Hold on. All right, we'll skip to where Chille gets out of where Chille shows up. And look, there's comes Chille's car.
Yeah,
Chille.
it's funny when you see him approaching. It's like it's a wild Chille.
Unrelated mail that you've been talking about, enter camera view.
Yes, I do.
And could you just point
Oh,
to
nice
where
hair.
it is in the
That's
video
not all her
on the
hair.
screen?
Yes, he's right here.
And let the record reflect he identified a male wearing like a light colored blue jacket towards the middle of the screen. And is this the individual that you have been talking about, the defendant here today?
Yes.
Continue.
Look at him approaching.
Don't engage my driver, back up.
It's like, ah!
Hey, back up.
weirdo.
You're not involved. You can tell me you need to stay away from my driver. Back up for a minute, please. You're obstructing. Get away from my car stop. Okay? Listen. She deserves privacy. This is not your business.
Back up, paper boy.
Okay? You're being detained right now. Come over my car. Come over my car. Come over my car right now. Don't come over. Listen, I'm gonna put my hands on you. You're not. Control your arm. I gotta make sure that you guys get my I haven't obstructed now. You're no big. So you can't stop.
And I think that needs to be fair. I think we need to look at that just to make sure we agree, because he's kind of far away. Like, I mean, that's where he is.
Yep. Yeah.
And-
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
and I think he's got a valid argument. This is a standard parking space.
Mm-hmm.
So this is about what he's looking at. Here's the other parking space. I mean, I don't know, from here to here is got to be... I mean, how far do we think that is? Is that pretty fair? I mean, should he have gone a little farther back? Maybe. But I still think if he had gone over here...
I think
It
he
stood
should go
on
to
that
the
line
next
right there?
county.
Well, I think if he had stood right here, he'd have an even better argument. But I think he's far enough away. And I think there's an argument to be made about that. But Chille doesn't help himself here. Now, he might have to wait on appeal.
He would have sued everyone by then.
Well, yeah, but I think he was in the right. I think he had a fair argument here, but he doesn't help himself.
No. He's a patriot, remember?
You're being detained right now. Come over my car. Come over my car. Come over my car right now. Don't come over. Listen, I am gonna put my hands on you. No, you're not. Control your arm. I gotta make sure that you guys get my people on the phone. I haven't obstructed now. You're no big. So you can't stop. Come over here to my car. Come over here. I need additional.
This is not your business, sir.
It is his business now.
You're gonna go to the ground. Listen, you're detained right now. Get your surprise right here. You're not going to get around. Come over my car. You're being detained for obstruction. You need to set the phone down on the hood. Set the phone down on the hood. You're being detained. Now you're gonna put hands on me. Come over here. Come over here. Sure. Come over here. I don't care about the phone. Turn around. Turn around. I'm not doing anything. You're being detained right now. Turn around. Keep your supervisor. Stop. Your camera's on? Put your hands behind your back. Go ahead.
An officer at 11:38, or just a little bit before, there was another officer that comes onto the screen. Who's that?
This is Officer Dingley.
Handcuffs. What? Put your hands behind your back. I haven't done no, put your hands behind your back. Don't make me use it. If I wanted to detain me, then put the I'm putting you in handcuffs. But I'm not putting my hands behind my back. Facing the hood. I'm put it behind. Put it behind your back. Right now you're gonna get a ticket. For what? If you not put your hands behind your back, you're going to jail. Put your hands behind your back. Can I turn my head out? No. Do we agree on that? No, I don't know if you my hands. I don't have any weapons. Stop reaching. There's no weapons on me, guys. Stop reaching, please. Constitutional Law Scholar. You said to stop. Put your hands behind your back, you're going to jail. I'm placing you in handcuffs right now. For what? Turn around. For officer safety, right? For officer safety. The camera's still running, guys. The camera's still running. I don't care about the camera.
Of course, the camera's still running. Don't worry, Chille.
And that concludes the 12-minute and 31-second video. The video marks 468 underscore number sign 1.mp4. Officer, at some point after this interaction that we just saw, did you come to realize that your body worn camera had accidentally or inadvertently turned off?
Yes.
Okay. And at what point in time did it turn off?
It would have turned off at the completion of the video that we just saw. Prior
Prior to what?
to the handcuffing.
Okay. Did you we noticed Officer Dingle show up to the scene though?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know whether he had his body worn camera turned on?
Yes, it was activated.
Okay. And so what would have been missed by the inadvertent turning off of your body worn camera would have been captured on Officer Dingle's body worn camera?
Yes.
Okay. And did I allow you to look at that video footage from Officer Dingle this morning prior to testifying here today?
Yes, you did.
And did you have an opportunity to look at it to determine whether it was in fact the video related to this event?
Yes, I looked at it and it was the video related.
Okay. And so I'm going to turn your attention now to the video labeled 416B- or .mp4, and I'm just going to,
It says 4168.
oh, I'm sorry. Is that B or B? I think it's a B, Jim. 416B,
Couple looks truly sad.
MP4,
Okay.
or 8. And I just played the first 13 seconds, but actually I'm gonna fast forward. Now, for the record, the video is upside down. I recorded upside down? Yes?
Yes, it did.
All right. Actually,
Why would it record upside down?
Ma'am, there's a setting in the application where you can rotate it. This officer may not have checked that beforehand.
stopping or starting at 4:54, timestamp on the video that we've been talking about. Do you recognize what's depicted, at least in this still portion?
Yes, this is me and Decastro in front of my patrol vehicle.
Okay, and so to your knowledge, after having watched this, does this fairly accurately depict your interaction with the defendant on March 15th of 2023 as caught on camera by Officer Dingley's body-worn camera?
Yes.
Move to admit 416 B or 8 MP4.
No objection.
You know if it's an 8 or a B for sure?
It looks like a B too.
Okay.
Thank you.
3, I lose. All right.
Okay.
416.
No, cute.
Will be admitted and published.
Thank you, and I'm just gonna
Guys are
start from
brutal.
454. And may I approach you on it?
Can we move the water bottle so we can see it too?
Of course.
Thank you.
You can come up.
You can.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Are you ready to rotate it so it's right side up?
It's the video. This way.
There you go.
That's really a gay jacket, hey. Yeah, that's interesting, Kimbo. Like, why are we watching it on her laptop?
This is the problem with court. Things aren't done like it's live TV. You got to adapt and overcome. For some reason, they couldn't get it to play, so this is the next best way. This is not. This happens all the time. That trial I had where the lady was trying the fighting words, the court lost power.
Yep.
And we had a bench trial, and guess what? You know what? You know what the recording device was?
Mobile.
The judge's iPhone.
Right.
We consented to it because it worked, and he sent us copies afterwards, and I verified that it was legit. I listened to the whole thing, and I said it was legit. I mean, like, you work with what you got. So this is just slop. This isn't just they weren't prepared for this one.
Yeah.
This is just being a little sloppy.
Yeah.
Because they could have fixed this ahead of time.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But guys, this happens in courtrooms all over America all the time. You know, you guys. This is the part of the reason why I wanted to watch Chille. This is this is what happens everywhere. There might even be felony cases where stuff happens like this. So, welcome to the land of the surreal.
Wow.
He's cute. He's Colombian, apparently, allegedly Colombian.
What a painful man.
Somebody put it out of focus. Hella, could you fix Chille?
Yeah, look, yeah, nah would be the proper answer. But I'm done with South Americans. So, no. No offense to any South Americans that are here. I do find it hilarious that he drives a Hyundai. That's the ultimate gay vehicle here.
I'm gonna stop it at 11:35.
John.
So officer, did the body worn camera portions that we played, or that I played, fairly and accurately depict your interaction with the defendant on March 15th of 2023?
Yes, it did.
Concerning, I just want to talk with a little bit about what was depicted in the video. In the video from your body worn camera, it shows, you know, the state of your stop with the Hyundai driver. You recall that?
Yes.
Okay. And at some point prior to you making contact with the defendant, you noticed him kind of recording further away from the vehicle, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And at that point in time, you didn't have a problem with that. You didn't really approach the defendant yet, correct?
Correct.
It was when he started making contact with the driver, your stopped driver, that you approached him and asked him to back up.
Yes.
And at some point in time in the video, it's recorded, you told him that he is allowed to record, but he just needed to back up.
Yes.
Okay. And what was the reason for you trying to maintain, one, the lack of no contact with the stopped person, and two, trying to gain distance between the defendant, yourself, and the stopped driver?
My first intention is I wasn't trying to delay my traffic stop any longer than I had to.
He very likely does.
I was trying to make it as short as possible for the driver. And then the second was for officer safety. What we're taught in the academy is that for a normal human's reaction time with open ground, anything within 21 feet, that suspect would be able to charge an officer without them being able to react in time.
All right. And at that point in time, you were the only officer present, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And when he began, or when the defendant failed to obey your command to back up, that's when you decided to engage him?
Yes.
Okay.
Not quite my cuticles, but close enough. Oh, it's so parching to talk. Gotta have my big drinky bottle.
Surprised
so
it doesn't have
obnoxious.
Elsa on it.
Yeah, so obnoxious.
I have no more questions for this witness. Thank you.
Good morning, officer. How are you doing?
Morning, sir. I'm well. How are you?
Very well. How many feet did
Oh,
you
Michael
order
May.
the defendant to back up specifically?
I never had an opportunity to give him an exact distance.
How far back did you intend to have him back up, even if you didn't express that?
In the background of the video, you could see that there was a parked semi-truck and a light pole. I would have directed him somewhere in that area, which would have been outside the 21 feet.
That looks.
Your testimony is you never told him an exact distance to back up, correct?
That's a lot farther than 21 feet away, that semi-truck.
Hmm.
Holy shit, that's actually kind of far.
Yes, you never allowed him to.
What do you mean you never allowed you to?
I asked him to back up, and he continued to argue with me, so I can never specify exact distance for him.
But you had time to give him 5 commands to back up, is that correct?
Yes,
Your testimony is he never backed up when you were giving him commands, is that correct?
if he backed up, it may have been inches, but he didn't substantially back up.
And you just reviewed the body-worn camera from your chest, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. You didn't notice him backing up every time you directed him to back up?
he did not back up.
So you backed up 0 feet, in your opinion? Based on that video?
Not 0 feet.
What was that?
He didn't back up 0 feet, he was moving his feet. As to exactly how far he went back, I don't know.
Okay, guys, real quick. This is how far they're talking about, and I'll step up in Chille's defense here. What he's saying, he wanted him to step back by that semi-truck, because over here, this way is where all that happened. That's the semi-truck. That's a lot more than 21 feet. That's a long distance away. Like, at that distance, you can't hear or film anything, really, at that point. That's really freaking far away. So even the officer is saying, I wouldn't even have made him step back to the edge of that. he's going to make him step all the way back here. I mean, that actually might have Chille on an appeal. If that, Chille might actually get away. Like, Chille might have appealable grounds right now. So,
For the whole thing?
for whether or not that this guy's what was reasonable.
Yeah.
Like, if this cop was going to make him do something unreasonable, the problem is Chille was never, like, that never came out. And that's coming out now, which is like, but once again, Chille couldn't shut up for half a second, so he's hurting himself.
Yeah. So that's for there to ever have been, like, because he was away from him in the
I
start.
would have guided him if he wasn't arguing with me back toward the light pole and the parked semi-truck.
And
Would have been outside of the 21 feet.
Oh, okay. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. You couldn't see it because we're in the way. Hold on.
Oh.
Okay, hold on here. Sorry. I'll put you guys. So, this guy, the guy's talking about the semi-truck, because over here, all that stuff was happening. Chille and the arrest. If this is the semi-truck he's talking about right here, this thing.
Yep.
Guys, that's that's farther than 20 feet away. That's really fucking far. That's very unreasonable. And yeah, all cops are unreasonable. Yes, the problem is Chille acted like a spurg, and there's no way for us to know. So Chille didn't help himself. Yeah, that's like 30, 35, 40 feet away.
Hmm.
I mean, you could park most of a semi-trailer in between those. And the bottom line is if he's 21 feet away, he's free. Yeah, that's no good. You could park a semi-trailer in this gap right here. This gap, that's like over 50 feet. You could put one of the big semi-trailers right here in the middle.
Mm.
That's a ridiculous amount of room. Once again, Chille isn't helping himself. So, like a dip. Like a dip. So, anyways, let's keep going.
Hang on. Chille was talking to the lady, though. Does that matter?
Doesn't matter. He doesn't get to talk to her on the stop. The cop's like, no, I'm running the stop. He doesn't get to run up and talk to her at that point. He's allowed to do. Semi-trailers are 53 feet. They're 53 feet long. So.
Okay.
Average trailer. Yeah, that's not 50 feet. I bet you could fit 50 feet in there. Anyway, either way, I still think
distorted.
Either way, I think that there's more than enough room.
So in your opinion, you have the ability, or you would in any traffic stop, ask somebody to move back 21 feet, is that correct?
Yes, for our training.
And what was that training?
That while we're conducting lawful activity, we're allowed a reasonable distance to conduct our activity.
But where do you get that 21 feet number from specifically?
That's taught to us in the academy. It's based on reaction time, normal human reaction time to a threat.
So your position is anytime you're engaged in any law enforcement activity, you would create a 21 feet perimeter?
Not necessarily. It depends on other environmental factors such as obstacles and barriers.
So your testimony is that every time you conduct a traffic stop, as long as there's no barriers, you would order a pedestrian to back up 21 feet, is that correct?
I would, yes.
What training do you have in regards to the First Amendment?
It's standard academy training.
Okay, guys, I found a better clip of this here. So, this is actually a better clip. So, when the car was being stopped, when Chille walked up, Chille was about right here from what I can tell. Chille got to about right here. And Chille said he stepped back to about right there.
Hmm.
Okay, so yeah, that's not 50 feet. That's only like 30 feet away. But still, he wanted him all the way back here. That's fucking nonsense. You know, if Chille would have walked back to here, you know what? He'd probably been okay. I bet if Chille had walked all the way over here, like here, or even here just a bit more, like, you know, heck, if he had even walked over to here, I bet this wouldn't have been a big deal.
Mm-mm.
But Chille wanted to die on the hill right there. I think he would have probably had some, you know, but yes, the cop wanted him all the way back there. That's bullshit. And I said this from the beginning. I said this the first time I watched it. This might have been far enough. but we don't know. I said it the first night. I said it the night he got arrested. Might be far enough. So, Porsa said that's about 10 feet right here. Yeah, I'd say it's about 10 feet or so. Uncle Buzz says the myth of the 20-foot rule. Yeah, that's in 8 feet was found unconstitutional in Arizona. Yes, but we're not in Arizona though. And the 21-foot rule, hell, it's from what's called the Tueller drill. And the Tueller drill says that an average able-bodied man can cover 21 feet in 1.5 seconds.
Oh, okay.
So
I have no clue what you're all talking about.
So the idea, well, that's what they were talking about, the 21-foot rule. And the idea was that an officer could not draw a firearm and engage and stop his threat if the threat had a knife before that threat could touch him and injure him with the knife.
Right.
So that's why it became the 21-foot rule. And it's more like, actually, depending on science now, they've realized it's more like 30 feet, because if somebody's trying to kill you and they're not me, they'll cover the ground. So
right. In that much space.
Yeah, and honestly, I think Chille was fine where he was. He probably had an argument, but acting like a fucking spaz is not how you do it.
Oh, he was acting like a spaz. No question.
Yeah, but if he wasn't, he probably would have had a case. But spurging out like this does not help.
But didn't it also look like he was advancing?
No.
Does that make a difference?
No, because I mean, like, yeah, he parked that's his car right here. This is his car, right here in the back, and he walked over,
Yeah.
And he got to about here, and the cop's like, no, go back. So Chille went like, and he got to about right here. Okay, so he walked back.
Yeah. And he stood there for a bit.
Yeah, well, that's where he stood, and that's where all the jawing off happened. But yeah, the cop told him to go back there. Yeah, that's no good. And this is where I don't know if his attorney's got exhibits or anything, but this is where it'd be very helpful.
Right.
Especially if Chille had the unedited footage of him doing all this, would be very helpful. But yeah, I doubt Chille's got it.
Okay, so he stayed behind that line until the cops came towards him.
And he wanted a confrontation, and he got it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So.
All right. Yeah.
Anyway,
okay, that's
so
fair.
Yeah, I said this the night it happened. I'm like, I don't know, but we'll see.
Explain what that entails.
Usually includes a classroom setting, PowerPoint taught by a police officer, academy officer.
Do you remember receiving that training specifically?
Yes.
How long ago was that?
When I was first employed about 8 years ago.
Do you have any follow-up training?
Specifically on First Amendment, we've had some follow-up training regarding First Amendment auditors.
Okay, can you explain what that follow-up training was?
The follow-up training was just a refresher on the First Amendment and how the department wants to handle or react to First Amendment auditors.
In that training, did they explain any case law governing how many feet somebody has to move back or anything like that?
Objection, Your Honor, at this point, relevance. I think it's beyond the scope of, the charges that you are to determine guilt at this point.
Can you tell me what's the relevance?
Yes, Your Honor. He detained the defendant after issuing commands back up a particular distance. He's testified he's received training. I should be entitled to cross-examine him about what that training is and how he's coming up with the specific numbers he's using to.
And this offense in particular.
Her objection was with respect to the case law that you're inquiring about.
Your Honor, our position is if he is issuing commands that are contrary to that case law and he's been trained on that case law, then there can't be an obstruction of justice.
So I'm going to sustain the objection and ask you to move along.
Oh, come on. This is a bench trial. That's garbage.
Yeah, she's right there.
No, she shouldn't have sustained that objection. You are a judge. You're a finder of fact. If something comes up, you can disregard it. Most judges give you leeway at a bench trial because they're the only one they have to worry about, and they know what's bullshit, not.
That's what I mean. Like, she's right there. The judge can make the decision.
Yeah.
Like,
so.
Yeah.
That was shitty. Good objection by his attorney, or good answer by his attorney, though.
Are issues enforcing the First Amendment?
No.
Prior to this event taking place, had you heard of Jose Decastro?
Not the way, not every statute, not every state statute is worded the way that obstruction's a physical act. I can obstruct justice and I can obstruct official business. I don't have to physically obstruct it. I can tell the cops he went the other way, or I can lie to him. That could be obstructing in certain situations. If I give him material facts that are wrong, that's obstructing. So it's not just physical.
Eric Kush, I'm not prostate.
No. I thought you said you're a prostate.
No, I just said I'm not prostate.
No.
Do you recall when you first heard about First Amendment auditors specifically?
They're dickheads.
It would have been in the academy.
So that was when you were first trained? You had heard about the auditors back then?
Yes, when we were learning about the First Amendment, they would typically bring up issues that might be a frequently seen thing. First Amendment auditors are typically the ones that we encounter when there's First Amendment claims against us.
Do you have any belief that First Amendment auditors are likely to be violent?
Objection, relevance.
What's relevance?
Uh,
I'm only concerned with Mr. Decastro. Okay.
Your
That's
Honor, one of the legal issues.
That's where you ask the question. Did you consider Mr. Decastro to be a First Amendment auditor? What do First Amendment auditors do? Oh, they come up and they wave cameras around and they are up our ass all the time. Was that what Mr. Decastro appeared to be doing? Yes, it appears he was filming you because he wanted police accountability. Yes. So he's acting like a First Amendment auditor, right? So that's where this should go.
Question here is
Please,
whether,
before, can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
Like, this might sound really, really dumb, but
Go for it.
there's no such thing as a First Amendment auditor, is there?
What's that?
There's no
It's
such thing as a...
Well, like, no, they're just people. They're just yahoos who go around filming the
thank you.
cops all the time.
Okay, so
that's
that's a made-up
that's the
thing.
thing. That's the name they've been given, and
Okay.
he's like, well, do you know what they are? Like, would you agree Chille's acting like one? And if he says no, well, that's when you. But this, I think the attorney's kind of leaving that out in a way.
Okay, so it's a self-appointed thing, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's self-descriptor.
Okay, thank you.
There's an easy way that they could have done this, and he's making it hard.
I think that has to be based upon his past experiences in training.
I'm not naive. I'm Australian.
During this traffic stop in particular, what specific factors led you to believe there might be a danger to officer safety?
Based on his proximity to my driver, based on his demeanor being argumentative, based on his physical demeanor, his veins were popping out of his neck as he was yelling at me.
You can see his veins popping out of his neck from your back where your vehicle
As
is.
long as only it's his
When I
neck.
was at the
It's
driver's
the only
side
place you
window,
want to see veins popping out.
yeah, but not in my car.
So when you see him walking up from your
That's
car,
bullshit, by the
what
way.
is your specific concern regarding officer safety at that point in time?
Well, it's my safety and the safety of the driver. I don't know who this person is. I've never met him before. He could be peaceful, he could be violent, I just don't know. There's so many unknown factors. And I also have a responsibility to protect that driver. If I were in that driver's position, I wouldn't want to be approached by some random person recording me, interviewing me.
Did you ever ask the driver their opinion about whether they wanted him there or not?
No, my first step was,
Relevance.
Sustained.
Why? No. He already said, I want to make sure. I'm worried she might be scared. Did you actually check to make sure she was scared? You're following up the questioning of the witness. Like, don't just give up on that stuff, bro. Yeah, like I said, this could be there's ground that could have been made here. You just got to fight a little bit. God.
Was your primary concern him speaking to the driver or him not backing up allegedly?
my primary concern was safety. I don't know if he was armed or what his intention was.
Do you presume someone is armed and dangerous just because they're in public?
I can't rule out that he's unarmed.
But you had no reason to believe he was armed on this occasion?
No, nobody had told me he was armed, and I didn't see any weapons visible, but he was wearing clothing that could have easily concealed weapons.
So when you first came upon the scene, you were in your vehicle typing on your computer, is that correct?
Yes.
And what were you doing in relation to that traffic stop at that point in time?
Conducting a background check to see if her license was valid, to see if she had any criminal history, to help me make my decision whether to warn her or issue citation.
You stated your belief that the driver was entitled to privacy.
I did say that.
And what do you mean by that?
Instead of continuing to give him commands to back up, I said something different to try and help him understand. She's really not entitled to privacy, but she's entitled to safety.
So your explanation is that you said that because you were just trying to convince him to back up, not because you believed?
Yes, if I continue to give the command to back up and he's not listening, I can't expect something different to happen if I just keep saying back up.
But you just admitted to making up a reason. You literally just made that up.
Mhm.
So. Yeah, like I said, guys, Chille's his own worst fucking enemy. See, like, I mean, I'm defending him. And, you know, he's acting like a fucking moron. So.
He's Chille, well,
In the
Chille.
police report, do you recall referencing the fact that he had due notice in the scene of what you were commanding him to do?
Yes, when I gave him 4 commands to back up, those do notice.
But you'll agree with me, he did not have notice as to the distance you wanted him to back up, is that correct?
That's correct.
But he refused to back up, so the problem isn't that the prosecutor smarts will say, he didn't back up anyway, did he? No. So he didn't even try to comply, did he? No. You know, like, he didn't, like, you told him more and he didn't go, did he? No. Like, that's what hurts him, so.
Approximately how long?
Yeah, he stuck around and
before you
argued
issued these
forever.
commands to him before you decided to take it to the defendant?
Approximately 15, 20 seconds.
And your testimony is you didn't have any time during the entire back and forth to tell him a specific distance to back up to?
Not time, but no opportunity.
How so?
Well, every time I tried to speak with him, he would argue he wasn't listening at all. So if he's not understanding back up, how would he explain something that was more complex?
Well, what was preventing you from saying back up to a particular location?
First, I would want him to back up, and then if he didn't back up far enough, I would give him an exact location.
He did back up, though.
But you never did, correct?
No, I never did.
Did the defendant's verbal comments towards you influence what you decided to do that day?
No.
On the video, did you see that the point in time you decided to detain him was specifically after he made an insulting comment towards you?
That wasn't why I chose to detain him. I realized that he wasn't going to back up at that time.
His comments didn't make you angry at him?
No.
In your review of the video just now, he had both hands in front of him the entire time, is that correct?
No, at one point he reaches toward his back pocket to pull out his second phone.
Did you quickly see that it was a second phone he was going for?
Yes.
Okay. So once you see him produce the second phone in his hands, he's obviously not reaching for a weapon, is that correct?
At that time, no, he wasn't.
What time of day did this occur at?
If I remember correctly, I think it was around 4:30 in the afternoon.
And this was in a broad public place.
Yes.
Be careful,
Does the fact
counselor.
that this occurred in broad daylight in public influence your decision-making as far as issuing commands to the defendant?
It could. In this particular case, it didn't.
And why is that?
There was nobody around us other than me and the driver and Decastro.
You testified he swatted your hand away. Is that your testimony today?
Yes, that's the best way I can describe it.
And you saw his arm do this, or you just felt it?
I saw and felt it.
Do you recall in your police report stating that you did not believe his intent was to harm you?
Yes, I wrote that.
And what is your basis for reaching that conclusion?
Well, he could have been charged with battery on a police officer, which would have been more severe. But I didn't think his intent was to hurt me, so I didn't charge him with that.
You testified today that one of the things you were concerned about was him not going over to your vehicle. Is that true?
Yes,
Will you agree with me that he actually did walk over to your vehicle at some point during the interaction?
yes, but it wasn't reasonable, the amount of time it took him.
What would be a reasonable amount of time?
Asking him to step in front of my car, then doing so immediately.
And how fast is it immediately?
This isn't based off of time, my response, it's just based off of interaction. I had to tell him he was detained multiple times. And I made it clear what he was detained for. I said he was detained for obstructing. And I gave him several commands to step in front of my car. So I would think a reasonable person would walk over to my car, and then we'd have a conversation there.
And how specifically did his presence obstruct your ability to complete the traffic stop?
Again, I don't know what his intention is. I don't know if he's armed. All I saw was him reporting, which, again, I had no issue with. I told him I had no issue with. At some point in time, if I were to issue a citation to the driver, my focus would be on the driver and what's inside her car. At that point, I hadn't pulled her out. I hadn't pat her down. I don't know if she has any weapons in the car or what her intent was, if there was anything underlying. So my intention on having Decastro back up was so that I didn't have split attention. He was too close for me to have split attention.
Too close to have split intention.
So what are the things you stated that you were concerned about, I guess, from a safety point of view, was that he didn't identify himself? Is that true?
No, I didn't care about his identity until I had him detained.
Okay. At any point during the, I guess, detention of the defendant, did you pat him down to determine he didn't have any weapons?
I did.
Okay, and when was that during the duration of the interaction?
That was immediately after handcuffing.
Okay, did you discover any weapons on him?
No, I did not.
From your police car, while he's walking up, you can essentially have a complete view of his movements and what he's doing at that point in time.
Yes.
And you never saw him during that time period before you got out of your car and reached for his weapons or anything like that?
No.
Asking really good questions. I like it.
Were there other individuals around the traffic stop other than the defendant and the driver?
Not that I can remember.
Do Do you recall anyone walking through the scene and asking about the restaurant next door?
I don't remember that.
But your testimony is if there was someone else on the video, you would have been ordering that person to back up 21 feet?
I would have first asked them to back up, and most people do. And then if they did not comply, then I would give them a specific area to back up to.
You ordered him not to speak to the driver, is that correct?
Yes, well, I remember asking them to back up. I don't remember if I specifically asked them not to speak to the driver. I think I may have said, don't talk to her, or something to that effect.
Did he speak to her before you got out of your patrol vehicle or afterwards?
Before. I saw Decastro filming, I stayed in my vehicle and continued my business. Then when I saw him speaking to the driver, that's when I exited.
Did you see him speak to the driver after you exited the vehicle at any point?
I don't remember if he spoke to the driver after I exited.
At any point, did you hear specifically what he may have said to the driver?
No, I was too far away and it was windy.
Is your position that anytime you're engaged in a traffic stop, nobody can speak to the driver?
They can speak to them at a reasonable distance.
And is that 21 feet?
It could be shorter, it could be longer. It, again, depends on the environment, totality, the circumstances.
Do you think people can easily verbally communicate at 21 feet?
No, not without shouting.
Very good
At
point.
some point, the defendant informed you that he was a member of the press.
He did?
Did that influence any of the orders you chose to give or not give to the defendant?
No, it doesn't matter.
Why does it not? What is your basis of that statement, I guess?
Media, reporters, and standard citizens, they treat them all the same.
So you becoming aware that somebody is a member of the press does not affect your decision-making in reference to your First Amendment training?
No, and how was I to know that he was a member of the press? Whenever I interact with members of the press, they usually identify what station they're with or a group that they're with. They usually have some sort of identification, name badge, and we have a good relationship with press out here. They don't approach us the way that Decastro did.
Are you familiar with the difference between traditional press or independent media?
Yes, but again, independent media would approach us more respectfully than Decastro.
Is your opinion that traditional media has different rights than new media, independent media?
Objection, Your Honor. At this point, I think we're well beyond the scope.
John, you're muted.
I start hammering him on this. Respect? Does it matter about respect now? Why does respect matter? It's about the law. The law's not based on respect.
Yep.
I mean, I would keep going. It's like we're going outside the bounds of cross. This is stuff he brought up. I'm allowed to inquire what the witness has stated.
Mm.
So.
Yeah, he's gone completely off track. Like, that makes... Like, a minute ago, he said, why, how do you not know he's part of the press? Well, he said he was part of the press.
Yeah.
And then he starts going, well, how was I don't know he's part of the press? Well, he said he's part of the press. That's it. Yeah. That should be the end of that.
Yes, that's all it takes. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done.
So let's see. I didn't hear what she said. Hold on.
Sustained.
Chille's kind of getting done dirty by this judge. I think there's some bias here.
court's indulgence, I apologize. So your testimony is, if I recall correctly, that you received First Amendment training when you initially went through your officer training.
Yes.
And then you received one follow-up after that.
I can't, no, it was more than one. I don't know exactly how many. Typically that training is annual.
And your testimony, just to reiterate, this is the first time you've experienced a First Amendment issue of this nature in your career?
Objection, I believe I objected to that question when it was posed as a violent encounter and it was sustained. And I also objected on the grounds of relevance. As the court indicated, what we're concerned about is his interaction with the defendant specifically. And so I object.
Sustained, I'm only concerned about this interaction.
It's weird she's not asking for any anything from defense counsel. But me should be standing up and saying, Your Honor, we're going on and on and on about his experience of training. Oh, he might have had a weapon. Oh, I have all these fears. We have all these rules to make sure everybody's safe. Okay, well, let's get in your First Amendment training. But he's not, like, bro, you got to fight a little bit up there. And he's just letting her, like, voice an objection. He doesn't respond. It's, like, sustained. And I don't know. So, I'm not thrilled with this so far.
I know this judge from somewhere else.
Do you recall during your interactions with the defendant that you told him that you believed First Amendment auditors often pull out guns and shoot people?
I didn't say that they often do that.
Do you recall what you said?
I don't. I would have said that he was a stranger to me and that officers get ambushed all the time. It could have been a First Amendment auditor. It could have been a regular citizen. It could have been a cook from one of the places nearby. I wouldn't have specifically said that First Amendment auditors are at higher risk.
And again, just to reiterate, your testimony is that...
Objection. I mean, anytime it's prefaced as just to reiterate, I feel like I should object on an asked and answered ground. And I'm not, just to hear it, but it just sounds like a reiteration of the questions that have been previously asked. So my objection is asked and answered.
I'm going to ask this question before I rule on your objection.
Again, I'm just trying to clarify because I think this point was ambiguous, but do you recall the defendant telling you that he was a member of the press during the interaction with the defendant?
Asked and answered.
Sustained.
No further questions, Your Honor.
You redirect?
No. Thank you.
Thank you, officer. You may step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Officer, stand by the anteroom, please.
Does the state rest?
At this point, we do.
Does the defense have any witnesses?
Your Honor, I call Chille Decastro.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm serious. Like, I got reasonable doubt right now. I have reasonable doubt. I'm not guilty. If this cop testifies, like, I think this judge is going to fuck him regardless the way she's acting, but I think that they have not proven their burden beyond a reasonable doubt to all elements of the offense. I hate to say I'm defending Chille, but I hate to say I'm defending Chille, but I'm being principled.
No, that's fair. And good on you for being fair about it.
The baldo of honesty is a heavy burden.
It is.
But I agreed to bear it.
Free Chille.
I mean, he should fucking appeal this. I think he's got grounds.
You solemnly swear
No,
to
he
tell
should
the
have-
truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
He should have professionals help him appeal this. He shouldn't fucking do it on his own because he's going to ruin it. But, yeah.
Please be seated.
Mr. Decastro, before
He
you
would
testify,
feel loud enough
you
to ask.
have the right to testify.
But if he was far enough away.
But you also have the right to remain silent, and should you choose to remain silent, I may not hold that against you in making my decision. Do you understand that?
I do.
Do you still wish to testify?
Yes, I do.
All right, please go ahead.
You have a YouTube channel?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't hear this yet. I didn't hear them establish venue. Like, where did this occur? I didn't hear that. Like, I didn't hear that this occurred within the city of Las Vegas, within Clark County, within the state of Nevada. I didn't hear any of that. So, I mean, and his attorney didn't make a motion to acquittal right there, which I think he probably should have, but oh well, keep moving.
Yes, I do.
Can you give some insight into what that channel was about?
Objection, relevance.
What's the relevance?
Your Honor, the relevance is that we're presenting a First Amendment defense, and the defendant is a member of the press. There's different standards for First Amendment rulings.
Guys, the street address isn't enough. 123 Elm Street. Where? That's not enough. They did specifically say it. I didn't hear it. They did do Las Vegas address and county. Okay. Fair enough if they got it. Okay. I'll leave it alone. Okay, they got it. I got you, Michael. I got you. I highlighted your comment. I got you, honey. I got you, honey. I know some states don't consider that waived if you don't make it, like Michigan. Well, and that's wrong. That should have to be proven. If the state didn't introduce it, then it's not. That's not something the court could take judicial notice of, I think. That's an element of the offense, but. Oh, well.
Where there is public policy at issue. He can't give insight into that.
I'm gonna allow it for a bit and see where it goes.
Yes, I do have I do have a YouTube channel, and the reason I have a YouTube channel is because of how many cops kill people every year, how many cops hurt, maim, torture, rape, and kill people every single year. It's such an epidemic that the rest of the world, I get thousands of emails saying, only in America does this happen. I started filming cops because when I was cheated in 2002 and
Objection at this point.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to jump for a bit. I might come back later if you're still going. I have an appointment. Thank you, though. I'll see you soon.
Mr. Rodder,
Bye.
what type of films do you make for your YouTube channel?
I only film police in their official capacity. I'm known across the country and across the world.
And why do you engage in that type of filming?
So I'm gonna ask you, Mr. Mead, to direct your questions about the incident in question.
The reason I was filming Mr. Vort that day.
Objection, Your Honor. Oh, sorry.
So
There wasn't a question posed, so I'm not here what it is.
Mr. Decastro, on the question, why did you approach that vehicle?
I was filming that cop because that's what I do for a living. I am a member of the press, and I invoked my right to be press. I always invoke my right to be press within the first 10 seconds of engaging with police, and I have thousands of videos that prove this.
So this is how you make money.
This is not how specifically I make money. I make money from selling legal documents to people.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you recall the officer telling you to back up?
Yes, I do.
And what did you do after he told you to back up?
I took a couple steps back. I just showed him that I was willing to back up a little bit. However, if I may, in Arizona, they created a 10-foot law.
Objection, relevance, we're not in Arizona, it's the state of Nevada.
So I'm gonna allow it because I think that goes to why he kept saying 10 feet in the video, even though I will take judicial notice that you're not in the state of Arizona, you're in the state of Nevada.
Well, a federal judge struck it down, Your Honor, and
Stop. Can you ask him a question?
Yes, Your Honor. Approximately how many feet did you back up?
I backed up a foot or two. I was at least 10 feet away from that car that the driver was pulled over in.
And when you spoke to the driver, what did you say?
Just after she was okay. The reason I film police is because they abuse people so often.
Do you recall the officer telling you not to speak with the driver?
Yes,
And did you make any statements to the driver after that command was given?
Absolutely not.
Did the officer ever give you a specific distance to back up to?
No, he didn't.
If he did, would you have complied with that?
Sure.
Did you believe you were complying with the officer's commands?
100%. I also informed him I'm a member of the press, I'm a constitutional law scholar, that this is what I do.
Do you recall the officer explaining to you why he decided to arrest you?
There's several parts to the reason why he said he was going to arrest me. He said he was going to arrest me because I wouldn't turn my head a certain direction. If I didn't turn and face the car with my head, that he would place me under arrest instead of just giving me a ticket.
Do you recall him explaining why he decided to detain you before he arrested you?
He decided to detain me because he said I was obstructing, which, from my understanding, is a physical act where I would have to get in the way. He said that the driver deserves privacy. I believe my First Amendment rights are not up for feelings.
Did he explain to you that the basis of your detention was related primarily to the issue of privacy or the issue of you backing up?
Well, I think from the officer's testimony, we can see that he's scared of the driver, scared of me, scared of everything. They teach them to be afraid of everything. So I had 2 cameras out. It's identified as a member of the press. I'm sorry, repeat the question. I want to get it specific for the record.
Sure. The question was, did the officer explain to you that the basis of your detention was because of you not backing up or because of the privacy issue of the driver?
It was both. He said that, he told me to back up. I backed up a little bit. Then he said, she deserves privacy. And then I told him to go get in your car, little doggy, and write your ticket. And at that point, his face turned beet red and his veins in his neck stuck out because we were over 20 feet away. And you had to holler to hear each other because the wind was probably 30 miles an hour.
Did you at any point attempt to hit any of the officers involved?
No, absolutely not.
Did you intentionally swat any of the officers?
Absolutely not. He was giving me unlawful commands. I should not have been detained after identified as a member of the press. If he ever reached a hand out towards me, I wrestle and teach MMA and I have for 30 years. So it's just a natural reaction as I'm retreating from somebody. If I may have put my hand up, as he said, as he testified himself, I certainly am a law-abiding citizen. I don't break the law. So I would not have tried to assault an officer under any circumstances.
Is it possible that during the interaction there was inadvertent contact between you and the officer?
Sure, he decided to go hands-on with me when he was giving me unlawful commands. And there was absolutely no reason for it. I was willing to comply with anything he asked within reason because I don't want to have a fist fight with another man on the street.
Do you recall the officer ordering you to go to his patrol vehicle?
I do.
And what did you do in response to that?
Initially, I told him no, but then when he began to get physical with me and start to grab me and touch me, I said, okay, I'll go over to your car. His car was 35 feet away. I then led him to his car. It's on video, you can see it. I would walk right up to his car, and then he insisted still on grabbing me. After he saw me pull out an additional phone, which that's what press people do. We have lots of cameras on us.
And did you inform the officer that you were a member of the press?
Oh, several times. It's in the transcripts. I've transcribed them myself.
Hey, Rob, I will send you a link if you want to join us.
Oh, several times I told him I'm a member of the press.
And did you explain to the officer that you have a background in constitutional law?
Yes, I told him I'm a constitutional law scholar, which was a moniker given to me by other people who are also, they have their own channels, their own press, and that's what some other lawyers on another channel called me 3 years ago. And I since adapted the moniker.
Hold on, wait. What is he saying he adapted the moniker of?
I'm a constitutional law scholar, which was a moniker given to me by other people who are also, they have their own channels, their own press, and that's what some other lawyers on another channel called me 3 years ago.
Oh no, that is a self-gloss, Chille. Do not put this on us. You self-gloss, brother.
And I since adapted the moniker.
Bullshit.
And just to get some, I guess, further background, were you looking for police to report on this particular day?
No, the cops hide on the side of the road to pull people over. It's pretty regular in our country. I was just in the parking lot there. I saw that Mr. Bork had somebody pulled over. Concerned for her safety, I began to film.
And why do you think that law enforcement traffic stops are relevant to the public?
That's where most people get killed.
Objection relevance. Who's doing that question? Which is right?
State,
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
state,
I have no questions for this witness. Thank you.
sir, you may step down. This is Ben's rest.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, any argument by the state?
Your Honor, the state asks you to find the defendant guilty of both the obstructing a public officer as well as resisting a public officer charged against him. The video very adequately portrays, and I don't think it's disputed by the defendant, what the context was of the interaction with the officer. I would venture to say that had the defendant just complied with the original order to not engage with the driver and to back up, we wouldn't be here. He wouldn't have found himself further engaging with Officer Bork. This is not a First Amendment issue. As you heard over and over and over again on video, Officer Bork did not have a problem with the defendant recording. It's not a First Amendment issue. It's an officer safety issue. Here you have an officer who conducted a lawful traffic stop. You saw the nature of the stop. There was no animosity between the officer and the driver. It was rather peaceful. They were engaged, banter back and forth. He would have, as he testified, he was trying to determine whether he was going to cite her or let her go with a warning. And then you have an individual, the defendant, introduce himself to a situation. Traffic stops, Your Honor, are inherently dangerous, particularly in crowded parking lots. I guess anywhere, I would venture to say. This officer was reasonable in thinking that anyone who would approach in the manner that the defendant approached his scene would have a reason to fear for his safety, or at least be suspicious of this individual's motives coming in. The officer had no problem with the recording. The officer had no problem with the defendant observing. It was when he inserted himself into this lawful detention that was occurring with the Hyundai driver that the officer turned his attention onto the defendant. This is not a First Amendment issue. This is an individual who took what he perceived to be his rights too far. The officer was well within his right, as well as acting reasonably when he asked him to back up. That 21-foot rule, it's appropriate. He said that was the training that they received in terms of the distance that's allowed for someone who needs to do them harm. It's a threat assessment. We don't know when the defendant approached whether he had a gun concealed, whether he had a knife concealed, whether he had other weapons. And you'll hear multiple times in the video, Officer Bork yelling, "Stop reaching, stop reaching." This is an unknown, when defense counsel asked Officer Bork all of these questions about how it is that you do this, and Officer Bork kept responding, it depends on the situation, it depends on the totality of the circumstances. Here was an officer acting alone, individually, engaged one-to-one with a driver. He had no problem with it. You insert another individual who enters the scene in the manner that the defendant did, and now this officer's attention is going to be divided. He had every reason to fear for his safety as well as that of the driver. Again, if he had just complied with the officer's commands or demands to back up, and a lot was made about, hey, he didn't have an opportunity to tell the defendant exactly how far back. As the officer testified, even just with the, hey, back up, the defendant didn't back up, not willingly. That's why the officer had to continue to engage with him and force him into the situation. Had he complied, he would not have been charged with obstruction. Had he complied initially, he would not have been charged with the resisting. The officer was, you are going to have to assess that. There's nothing in the video or Officer Borg's testimony that would cause the court to question his veracity or his intention for that matter. He was very honest in that he didn't believe the defendant wasn't trying to harm him necessarily with the SWAT. That's why the defendant wasn't charged with a battery on a protected person or police officer. But that SWAT, Your Honor, I would argue, was meant to resist. At that point in time, the officer was trying to detain him and subsequently arrest him on the obstruction, as depicted in the video. And so at this point, I think we proved by beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant did hinder Officer Borg's investigation and detention of the Hyundai driver, and that he resisted the officer's arrest and or attempt to arrest him. And so we would ask that you find the defendant guilty of both.
Right, thank you. Ben?
Yes, Your Honor. So first of all, you cannot obstruct an unlawful order. I disagree with the state that this is not a First Amendment issue. The First Amendment in this context actually has two parts. There's the filming and the right to film within a reasonable distance. The case law in all the federal circuits, Your Honor, there's no 21 feet rule that's been approved by any court of which I'm aware. That there is a 10-foot rule. That seems to be the rule that is applied by most of the federal circuits in the First Amendment. I submitted a bench brief that kind of goes through that issue, if the courts had a chance to review that.
I don't have that. When did you submit it?
It was submitted yesterday, Your Honor.
I mean, at this point, I would move to strike because it's untimely, but I got it this morning when I walked into court.
Go ahead.
So the officer's testimony to that, there's essentially this 21-foot distance where anybody can charge an officer and cause physical harm to an officer. If that is applied universally, Your Honor, it totally diminishes and violates the First Amendment. That is, as the officer testified, a 21-foot radius that he can attempt to impose. I believe his testimony was anytime there's not an obstacle between a person and somebody that law enforcement is interacting with. And that's just not what the law requires, Your Honor. The First Amendment gives their media, new media, old media, it gives individuals the right to film government agents. There's no dispute that that's the requirement, and if the officer is applying this 21-foot circumference to all law enforcement interactions, he's effectively eliminated the ability to film law enforcement going about their duties. The commands to not talk to the driver are also not based on any actual legal justification. There's no right to privacy in public, whether you're engaged with law enforcement or not. There's no requirement or no statute, no law that citizens can't interact with drivers that are interacting with law enforcement. So what's taken place here, Your Honor, is that this officer has taken it upon himself to essentially act as the legislature and created these rules that have no basis in any law, and in fact are contrary to the First Amendment. Again, you can't obstruct an unlawful demand, so there is no obstruction of justice here. Resisting arrest, Your Honor, the court can see the video. Essentially what happened is he walked over to the front of the vehicle. There was some dispute about why he was being detained. That was discussed. The case law in that area, Your Honor, is that if it's an unlawful arrest, which it was in this case because they're essentially arresting him for violating these unlawful orders that they're pronouncing. Again, the case law is you can passively resist an unlawful arrest, and that's all that occurred here, Your Honor. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Decastro, please stand. The problem with the argument that your attorney makes is it completely fails to consider the safety of the officer and the safety of the driver. The officer doesn't know who you are, and the driver doesn't know who you are. And you don't have any right to interfere with that officer doing his investigation and deciding if he wants to issue a ticket to this driver. And you also don't have any business approaching the driver. The driver didn't ask you for help. The driver didn't say, help, help, you know. You didn't see an altercation happening between the officer and this driver. The officer didn't protest that you were filming. There's no problem with filming. You can film, it's fine, all right? But you did interfere with his investigation. You did interfere with his ability to do his job. You did put him in a position where he is concerned for his safety and the safety of the driver. So I believe the state's met their burden beyond reasonable doubt. I'm going to find you guilty of obstructing a public officer and resisting a public officer. So I'd like to hear from the state and then your attorney prior to sentencing.
Your Honor, in terms of sentencing, I would ask that our defendant enter and complete an impulse control class. I would ask that the court lobby a $500 fine or the equivalent in community service. I would ask that the defendant be ordered to stay out of trouble for the pendency of the case. And I would ask for a 90-day suspended sentence. And that's on as to each count to one concurrent.
Hey, Rob, how you doing?
Doing well.
That's our request.
So,
Your Honor, I'm asking the court to sentence the defendant to credit for time served for these offenses. Even if the court concludes, and the court did conclude that he didn't have the right to do what he did, I think the court can see that he sincerely believed that he had the right to do so. That's based on his past experiences and the training he's received in reference to the First Amendment. I don't think there was any intent from the defendant to engage in any wrongdoing in this case, Your Honor. And that being the case, because of the public policy interests at issue.
So when you say he doesn't wish to engage in any wrongdoing, it seems to me from observing him in the video that he wants this. He wants to get arrested. He wants to get into an altercation with police officers.
Whoa, did Chille just nod?
YouTube channel. He called the
I think he
officers here in
did.
my
Hold on
courtroom.
here.
This helps to. He wants this. He wants to get arrested. He wants to get into an altercation with police officers. He welcomes this. This
yeah, nodding like that. My God, what are you doing, Chille? He's his own worst enemy.
helps his YouTube channel. He called the officers here in my courtroom today pigs. He called me, and he's nodding his head up and down. So apparently he hates every law enforcement officer in the United States. All right, please stand up, sir. Are you finished with your request for credit for time served?
Oh my God.
I would just emphasize, Your Honor, that the defendant testified and he sincerely believes that he is providing a public service when he reviews and films these incidents. I understand the court may have a different view of that, but when we're talking about First Amendment public policy issues such as supervising people involved in government, I think that is something the court can take into consideration, not to show any effect on that. I'll spit on that, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Decastro, please stand. I hereby sentence you to 90 days in the Clark County Detention Center on count 1, 90 days in the Clark County Detention Center on count 2, to run consecutive for a total of 180 days in custody.
Sentence suspended or?
Oh, no, I'm going to start right now.
Nope. Give me a runner. Oh.
Torture cuffs right away. He let the man put their hands on him.
Can you put two please? I'm back to the shoulder check. This is travesty of justice. Unbelievable. I know my place. They put me in jail for half a year. How long have I been in for a year? Just give me the car. Yeah. Can I give my keys up? keep doing that, and everyone in the car will watch. They're in the silence, and you joke, no need to break this. I'll get your stuff. And then you man, stop talking, place on it. Get a hold of my assistant, James.
Well, there goes the Chille saga.
Wow.
I actually think he had a decent case based on the officer's testimony.
If he didn't do that to himself,
Yes.
that was a self-own.
Mm-hmm. I will say, like, in when the officer testified, I think the officer hurt himself a lot. Because this is something I don't know if you noticed this, but when you watch this is Chille's video.
Yeah, the semi is 70 feet away. Like, easy.
Well, it's not
70
70 feet away. Like, the car that girl was in was, like, right here. That's where the girl was at, right here.
I'm
Chille,
calling that 70 feet. Like, easy.
Well, I mean, that's one parking space, a row, and the parking space. So is that, I mean, like, because that's, I mean, that's 10, 15 feet, 10, 15 feet, bam. I think that's about 30, 35 feet. From here to there, I'd say it's probably closer to 50. But if you think about it, I mean, that's just a parking space. Oh, guys, hello. It's Rob from Lawn Lumber, everybody. My apologies.
Oh, hey. Parking spaces are generally 20 to 25 feet. Just generally.
We're going to say, okay, let's say it's 20 feet. Okay. And then this is probably 20 more feet? Okay, fine.
You have more than a parking space between two parking spaces. Usually it's about 30. I'm thinking that that's more like 50 to 60.
Parking lots. Well, see, this is where I... Okay, so let's see. Here's some parking lot spacing layouts. Actually, here we go. Parking lot design. We'll do some lawyer stuff, chat. We're gonna do some legal stuff here. Yeah, let's do some legal stuff here. Okay, is it showing up? All right, good. Okay, so parking layout. Okay.
Look at that.
The Virginia Asphalt Association, Rob. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. Parking layout. So about 18 feet and 24 feet.
Okay,
so that's about...
Like, we were both
feet,
right and wrong.
feet.
Like, about halfway between the two.
Yeah, so about 40 feet away. And if we switch back to this one here, Chille had gotten up to... Because Chille's car is way here in the back. Okay, that's Chille's car, where he left his dog. Anyways, Chille comes up, and he gets to about, like, right here. And officers step back. So Chille starts having his temper tantrum. And then he gets back to about right here.
Okay, 12, 15 feet, something like that.
Yeah, and the car, and that girl's car is, like, right here. So he's...
Yeah.
I think that's probably far enough. The idea Chille has to be nearly 40 feet away to properly observe and record is preposterous.
But here's the difference.
Yeah.
He wasn't just observing and recording. He was interjecting.
I agree. And if Chille, but I think at some point Chille had stopped as well interjecting. Now he was arguing with the cop about where he was, but he quit talking. Chille did admit that. And the problem for me though is, I don't find Chille credible at all. But the officer's testimony was far less credible. Like, that was my problem with it. The officer did not give credible testimony.
My thing is, as the officer, what my focus would have been that I was attempting to ask questions, and that effort was being interfered with by not just the presence of the person, but by their interjections as I was trying to elicit information from this person who was being pulled over.
Yeah.
Like that itself, the verbal can be obstruction if you are not allowing the officer to carry out their job.
Yes. And as much as Chille likes to think Houston v. Hill is the rule there, that's not what Houston v. Hill was meant for. So, I don't know if you've ever seen this little, like, how to deal with cops pamphlet.
I have.
Yeah.
That's one way of doing it.
Well, it's not a very good way, so. But yes, I think had Chille shut his mouth and just kept filming, he probably would have been okay. Or at the very least, the officer's like, I didn't have time to tell him. It's like, you didn't tell him, like, go stand over here. Go stand over there. You didn't, like... I get it, Chille was being a dick, but I think the officer had the ability to handle this differently. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean he had to. He didn't have to, but I think he could have.
He could have, but who in that moment? Honestly, the case law is pretty sound on this one.
Yeah.
In that moment, the officer and their assessment of their own safety
Mm-hmm.
is superior to
Mm-hmm.
in that moment.
Yes.
So they
But
can.
if-
So, for example, like
Mhm.
I hated his attorney's argument of the 10-foot. Like I hated the argument of some arbitrary distance because people are different. People are dynamic. Like let's
Mhm.
say it's Usain Bolt. Like Usain
Yeah.
Bolt, 10 feet ain't gonna. No,
Well,
that's not
yeah,
sufficient.
and the 21-foot rule is actually more like 30 feet because people are fast. And I agree with you, but his attorney did a good job at diffusing that issue because he said, did you have any reason to believe he was armed? Did he appear to be armed? No, he had cell phones in his hands.
Yeah.
And I think that negated a lot of the officer's problem. But like I said, if I was his attorney, I would have said, like, well, how far back did you want him to go? And when he said to the semi-truck, that starts becoming... I think that's where
Yep.
there's some... That starts to strain the credulity of things here, because at that point, unless Chille went back that far and had to comply, I think that brings up whether or not that's a lawful command. Now, Chille obstructing and fighting, I don't know if he gets out of that. But I mean,
The only point that I have to make on this one is if you are going to say that I did not observe a lawful command, you better be perfect.
Oh yeah,
Like,
100%. And he did not do this that way. He should have, peacefully complied. But, when you want to stand there and act like a little kid, you're not going to win that fight. And also, it doesn't help that he came in, and I think part of the problem was, and I think had he not acted like an asshole when he walked in the court, that's a problem too. Believe it or not, the judge is not impartial. The judge sees you treating her deputies like shit. And you trying to, with the whole phone thing, he tried to buck her. He tried to buck. Well, he tried to buck and she came to fuck, and Chille found out. And that's the thing. I absolutely detest Chille Decastro. I have no love for the man. But here, I think he kind of got done dirty a little bit. Now, as a court, do I think it? I think the court, all those sustained objections. I mean, it's a bench trial. Number one, and then number two,
let him argue.
And number two, his attorney wasn't like. I'll make the argument. I could have made a better argument. The guy didn't make any arguments. He was a bump on a log when it came to that. So
That's fair.
I don't know. Like I said, I think he didn't get the best attorney. I think the judge already had an issue with him, I'm not saying that it's right, but that's part of a problem. When you act like a dick, word gets around fast. And I'm sure she heard that this guy's an asshole, and he came into court acting like an asshole.
I mean, you're sure she heard when she literally at the very beginning said, I want his phone seized, which she's allowed to do. That's her courtroom. She's allowed to control that courtroom. And the fact that he even resisted that at the outset, I was going, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah. And what when he did the whole thing with I don't want the cops to touch my phone. And he tried to give it to the prosecutor, which I thought was absolutely insane.
Dumber. That's dumber than giving it to the bailiffs. The bailiffs are under the directive of the court.
Yeah.
The prosecution, they're the state. That's...
Well, yeah. There's nothing to stop them from rifling through it. But when the problem is, those deputies are the judge's deputies. Those are the guys in her courtroom. She knows them. She knows, how are you guys doing? What your family's like? Those people are as critical as her court reporter, as her, court administrator, as her legal assistant or staff attorneys. He pissed off he shit on those people. That you lose points. He did nothing today to make himself in a good spot.
Nope. And the funny thing of the prosecutor, imagine how funny it would have been if he handed the prosecutor. The prosecutor says, "Hey, Chille, look here," and shows the phone and it unlocks.
Yeah.
Just right there in open court.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What a mess.
Darcy says for $20, will this count against him in his next case? Yeah, they're gonna be like, look, this now is a conviction for obstructing. This is the second time doing it. Now, granted, he was out on bond when he committed the second offense, which that is a bad look as well. Yes, all these factors will stack up. Now, do I think 90 days and 90 days is a bit stiff, but for somebody like Chille, this is karma finally caught up to him.
Well, and the 90 days, 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what he did immediately prior to that sentence. So the
Yeah.
judge, when the judge is imposing the sentence, the judge is trying to impose, one of the factors the judge has to consider is whether the disposition or the sentence is enough to essentially dissuade the person from future conduct of the similar sort in the future. And when the person that you're about to sentence is sitting there and saying, as you are saying, I think you wanted this, like I think you wanted the smoke, and he's just nodding along.
Yep.
Like that, the judge is going, okay, it was 30, now it's 60. He keeps nodding. Okay, now it's 90 because now I need to do more to prevent this person from doing this in the future.
Yes. Yeah, and I just it was his to lose, and he definitely lost it, I would argue.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was interesting because apparently the state, apparently there was a plea offer, and the state's just like, plea to it, pay a fine, and it goes away. And he didn't want that. And, Chille wants to be a martyr. Let's see how, you're going to have people for 90 days telling you every damn thing you do, Chille. You're screaming at these cops, you're not my daddy. Try that in the Clark County Jail, and I'm sure those COs will give you a turn down the stairs. Try that in the pod. You're not my daddy to some dude in there. Your jujitsu is not going to help you when some guy's beating you with a pipe. So, that's the thing I'm worried about. Like, he could get hurt.
Well, because of his attitude.
Yeah, I actually worried about this guy a little bit.
It's his demeanor. It's the I'm right, everyone's wrong, and then it's the fuck you to the system. I get there are moments when you'd say fuck you to the system. I really do. And I agree a lot. Hell, I advocate half of those cases.
Yes.
But holy crap, like there's a time, a place, and a manner in which you do that. And you don't do that to the judge that's about to impose a sentence upon you. Like,
yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, very much so. Yeah. I think this could have been done differently. But his attorney, like, C+, like maybe B, but like, I think there's a lot of things that weren't done right. And
how do you control how do you control Chille Decastro?
No, I think he should have done a lot more of making some arguments about like some of this stuff here, like the shot of like how far away did you want him to go, and you show the judge, look how far away that really is. I think there were missed opportunities there.
I agree.
Yeah, let's go. Brandon's for $4.99. That says, "Where's Clyde, you selfish man?" Well, I got him back. Clyde's my dog. I don't know if you've seen him.
I've seen him. He's a cute pupper.
Oh, well, thank you.
Heavy breathing, cute pupper.
I picked him out.
Oh, good.
Yes. Brandon again saying $4.99 stunt, $4.99 run bunt, $4.99 runt. Claude says he needs to be cited for that haircut. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's cutting his hair to try to cover up for time. Although the officer's haircut looks like his haircut wasn't the best either. John Coleman for $2 says, weird thought, how much of chat is wearing pants? I don't know.
I hope a lot more than half.
Yeah. Well, it's 11 o'clock on the East Coast, so maybe not. Jumble Dunn says, I'm wearing a hat and nothing else. That's... Yeah. John Coleman's a new member. Thank you, John. And Egalitarian Bitch for $4.99 says, I heard this question earlier today and need a legal perspective. Oh, God. If a parsley farmer gets sued, can his wages be garnished? That's not the worst legal... I haven't heard that one before. That's a good one.
My brain took a solid 5 seconds to get there with this hour of night.
Yeah, you're like, wait, is this a real question?
It took me a second. It did.
I'll try. I've been like that like before with my chat, so don't worry. Chaucerian Fraud says it best. Yes, I avoid police interaction wherever possible. To seek it out shows some sort of mental illness. Not disagreeing with you. And yes, he admitted on the stand he sells legal documents. Like, I'm surprised the judge let that slide. She's like, wait, are you an attorney?
Yeah, unauthorized practice of law.
Yeah. Yes, guys, if you go to deletelaws.com, he sells all kinds of crap. But yes, was Chille credible to me? No, but I already know his prior actions and statements. And then, yes, they blame, like, Chille self-glossed himself. So, yes, it's my fault that Chille's a constitutional law scholar. Yes, I did this. It's all my fault. I should never have called him that. You know, I appointed him to this status. It's my fault. I blame Sean. This is all my fault. Walter says Chille really gave the judge a thumbs up. Yeah, 900 IQ.
Yeah.
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 He Dunninged his Kruger today.
Yeah.
And Nick Kreuzer says, God bless the Virginia Asphalt Association and their many works. May they fill with God's guidance every pothole and curse crack. Amen.
Well, cheers to that, because they need swifter angels, because wow.
It's like he could do my parking lot. And then Unhung Air for $5 says chilly night in Vegas tonight. What will they do without filming pigs for 6 months? It'll be like an Aliens. Little kid's like, it's quiet now.
I don't know. Like the second you call,
it's quiet now. They stop screaming.
The second you call a cop a pig to their face,
yeah.
I get it. Go home to your family and your friends, or ranting on YouTube later after the fact. Say all the words you want to say. But when that person with the badge and handcuffs is there and they instruct you to do something, it is not advisable, even though it might be lawful or completely within your rights, it's not advisable to call that person a pig. In that moment, that's 180 days to learn that particular lesson, and 180 days in a setting that Chille Decastro is not familiar with, where he can utter anything he wants and get away with it without anything else.
Yes.
As if he pipes up, you snap back at one of those inmates in county, that might not go well.
Well, yeah, or the COs. I mean, and this is the other thing too. And I tell clients this in real life, but I say it here all the time. When the police say you're under arrest, that's it. That's it. There's no, you're not convincing them otherwise. And the other thing is, you got to take your pinch like a man. I mean, there's no, like, if you can handle being arrested like a man, it actually goes a long way towards me trying to work something out.
Yep.
Or just making an argument, period.
Yep. Shut up. Take the cuffs. Sit in the back of the cop car. Don't say a word.
I can handle some talking, but the screaming and like, no, like that's like what Chille did. No, you're hurting. Like, yeah, it's not, that's his problem there.
Yeah.
And like you noticed, they double cuffed him. And if you said, look, I have an arm problem, can you double cuff me? Normally they're like, yeah, sure. If you fight them and give them problems, no, they're not going to. So.
Yeah. Like, officer, I understand you're arresting me right now. I disagree with it, but hey, I have an arm problem. My shoulder's dislocated, previously dislocated. Please throw double cuffs on. They don't want the thing is, they don't want the lawsuit. They don't.
Yeah, they don't want it. It's easy enough for them, and Chille sued him anyway. And yes, getting convicted of this is going to really hurt his case. So, and and the problem is now he's going to be stuck in jail. He's not really going to be prepared for the next one if he tries to do it himself, because when you're stuck in jail, it's really hard to prepare. He's not going to have access to all the computer stuff, and if he wanted to make his own exhibits, so it's going to be it's probably going to go about as good, if not worse, I would argue. So, I'm curious to know how much his attorney charged.
It's a mess of his own creation.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
You would have repped him. I would have repped him. I would have done it, but that would have been hard.
I think ethically, I would have an issue because I've talked so much crap about him, but I think I could have done a better. Like, I think I could have done a pretty damn good job at defending him. I would have told him don't take the stand, because I think a lot of that could have been negated. Like, does that look like? Just leave it there. Does that seem reasonable, Judge? And I think you have appealable grounds.
I mean, but that also comes with educating, or rather telling him, instructing him,
Yes.
like, Chille, you sit at that table next to me and you don't make a gesture, you don't do anything. You literally sit there like an angel sainted child that does nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And you stand quietly and let me do my cross-examination, and we're not going to present any evidence.
Yeah. And Decine says, yeah, they're about to get a lot of constitutional education in the jail. Oh, yeah, they're
Well,
going to...
the inmates aren't state actors. They can search what they want to search without a warrant.
Oh, yeah, I think he's going to be really sad that, his whole, he doesn't like people looking up his butt. And they're going to be like, Chille, we use the body scanner. He's like, are you sure you don't want to look at my butt? They're like, sir, why are you naked right now? Oh, am I naked? I didn't realize that. Let me just bend over and pick up my clothes.
It's like the worst case scenario for any human to be in jail.
Yes.
Oh, this is really not good. This is not good.
60 days in and Chille's in your pod.
This is not good. Not good. not good.
Imagine that. Imagine how that would work.
Nope.
Sweet is saying, aren't you going to say county jail's bad? Yeah, county jails are bad, and a place like Clark County I would not want to go to that jail. I don't have a feeling it's very good. I have a feeling it's kind of crappy. I have a feeling there's a lot of gang problems, and I'm saying I have a feeling because I don't know for sure, but I'm willing to bet money there's a lot of gang there, and yeah.
And I love the people in the chat that are going, Rob, you don't know Chille's background. I don't care if he's MMA. I don't care who he is. I don't care who he is or what he's trained at. I give zero shits about any of that.
Mm-hmm.
There is that, and then there is lockup. And lockup is a very, very different game.
There's play fighting, and then there's fighting with no rules. And MMA is play fighting. Somebody can stop you. You have a set of rules. You can't eye gouge. You can't do joint locks. It's still play fighting. It's fighting with the rules.
And it's one-on-one. It's one-on-one.
Yeah. Yeah, three guys beating you with, locks and a sock are... Yeah, it's a whole different game. Yeah,
all right, Sean, I gotta bounce.
Right,
I gotta jump.
Guys.
I've got meetings in the morning. I'll talk to you sometime soon.
Yeah, guys, and if you get the chance, Rob over at Lawn Lumber does the Friday Night Frenzy. Been doing those. I know you've probably been busy. Got anything coming up other than that, or just those?
200K celebration is going to be reading the attorney that hired me out of law school and his disbarment. So I graduated law school. I graduated law school at a time when attorneys were not hiring, and I ended up with a solo guy. The guy threw up enough red flags that I hung my own shingle after like a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, about 5 years later, he got disbarred. So I'm going to read the ethics decision of his disbarment, which is rather comical. I mean, let me put it this way, Sean. There was a debit card associated with a client trust account that he used in Miami for strip clubs and for liquor.
You can't do debit cards with that stuff.
It was a debit. It was a debit card, and then it became overdrawn, and his defense, his literal defense to the court was, but it had overdraft protection on the client trust account.
That's why you only have checks on an account like that.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. That's bad. Oh no.
Yeah,
guys. So that'll be this Friday. But yes, congratulations on 200K.
Thank you, sir.
Now, so
yeah, keep chugging away. You'll get there.
Thanks. No, maybe sometime like in 20 years at this rate.
Right. Night, buddy.
Rob, thanks for being here. Yep. Yeah, overdrawing a client trust account is never a good idea, guys. That will get you automatically in trouble. Stacy says debit, use credit, get the points. No, To do a client trust account, you don't have cards attached to them because stuff like this will happen. Or let's say somebody steals your card. Now you got big problems too. Checks only. Checks only. It's the safest way. So, yeah, that's that'll be interesting. On here for $5, I was saying, talking back in county ends with Glock Dookie or worse. Beware the booty goons. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, I'm serious. I hope Chille is safe in there and doesn't do anything stupid. But for someone like him, I don't know if he's smart enough to, like, chill out. Yeah. And so, let's say F check Sean wires only. Well, yeah, but that's even better. Don't worry, Sean, one meme and you get millions of subs. Well, yeah. Chester Fraud says, do you really believe you're going to talk the judge out of that sentence? Be real. I think I would have been able to talk him out. Well, I would have had Chille chill out. But yes, Chille talked himself into that sentence at the end of the day. But I think I could have presented a case where, you know, there had been at least clear that there was a manifest weight issue, there's a bias issue. I don't know. I just feel like his attorney didn't do much there. Like, there's a lot more that could have been done. But yeah, and that's a problem, though. I'm torn because Chille did have all these issues. Chille had a lot of karma coming. I'm sure the judge has knowledge Chille keeps skipping bail everywhere. Well, you play these games enough, you get burned. So, oh, Beck's saying, what gang do you think he'll say he joined? Oh, he's gonna probably claim like he's like joined Sereno. Oh, he's like a norteño now. He'll come out with his like, you know, come out with the hat down over his eyes. He'll be like, yo, you know, he'll have that look, and he'll have the button shirt, the button at the top, and just looking like a big. So that's I just don't think it was yeah, the prosecutor asked for a suspended sentence, but Chille walked himself into a worse sentence. Chille made his own bed the minute he decided to call the court officer a pig. Yeah, he did. He didn't help himself. He did not help himself, and that's his problem. Chille is the reason why Chille is screwed. But he could have, you know, he probably would have walked out of there with a misdemeanor or with probation had he not acted like an ass. And that's the thing. Like, I you know, people get what they get, but I want them to get it for the right reasons and the right things, and I don't think this is the right thing. And I don't think this is the right reason. Yeah, he owes the piper for all kinds of stuff. Fine. Go pay on that, but you know, that's his problem. You know, he claims he was like, you know, Big Daddy everywhere else. Okay, great. I just don't like the fact he got held accountable here. I don't think it was fair. Real quick, guys, I think we'll also jump over to the Daniel Howard thing, just see what he got convicted of, because I don't know what happened. So how long is he actually going to do? The content lasagna. The chillest of the lasagnas. Or the lasagna that generates content. I'm not, like I said, I still think the idea of a lasagna having a YouTube channel is hilarious. How long is he actually going to do on the 180-day sentence? 180 days. I mean, the jail might have some good time credit or something, but I had the feeling the judge might say, like, he's not eligible for any of that. He's being held the entire time. I have the feeling Chille's going to make him do at least 90 days. I could see him doing the whole thing, but he's doing at least 90 days, I bet. Ronnie says, do they bunk them with their own kind? No. There aren't, they will not be. They don't really have that many sovereign citizens anyway. So, Stacy says chili and bacon. What about chili and bacon? Oh, Drew says, was he acting up for the camera? No, that's how Chille would act anyway. Chille would act like that if the cameras weren't there. That's Chille in his natural environment, being an asshole. So, no, that's entirely how he does that. Nicholas Kreuzer for $5 says, I think he needs Haldol daily with the side of Thorazine. That wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be bad for him. And J-Rock says, in jail, Sean, his only hope is to join the AB. I don't know if the AB would take him. I mean, he's, unless he could convince him he's like that, landed his like Spanish gentry white. Or they might tell him to go hang out with the Serranos, because I think that's who the AB rolls with out west, is the Serranos. Because that's like, there's two groups of the Hispanic gangs. It's like the Norteños, I think, roll with the other minorities, but the Serranos have a alliance with the white gangs. Sovereign citizens should have their own jails. There's not enough of them. If this does not affect his viewership, his audience are smooth-brained. How to beat the system, goes to jail. Yeah, well, I mean, he's going to say, he'll blame it like, oh, my attorney screwed me. Oh, the judge was biased, which I think the judge is a little biased. Didn't help himself there, but he's going to be able to blame the system and push it off and play through it. So that's not really that big a, I'm not really surprised at how that's going to play out. Neither should you. Neither should you. Neither should you. SB Sellers minus time served. Yeah, he only served like a day. So. Chaucer Fraud says 180 days is short for that good time behavior stuff. No, she gave him 90-90 and stacked him up, so. Darcy said he did not have time served, just a walkthrough booking. Yeah, but I don't know how they would count that. Some places count that as a day. So. Did you try the thumb pinky thing? No, not yet. Hell says, what's the AB? The Aryan Brotherhood. They are the guys in jail who like the mustache man and are always looking for Kyle. So, Jim says, I thought he was white. My bad. Yeah, well, he's very convenient when he identifies as one race or another. So, let's see here. Yeah, the thing is, he's in jail, so he'll be dealing with everybody. He'll be dealing with people like him who are dealing with just bullshit crimes. He'll be dealing with people who might be violent criminals going away forever. So he's got to be careful. Beck says, I love the fact that the judge is so amazing about phones in the courtrooms. Well, she got a warning about that in advance, I assume, so. So that's the issue for Chille. So Daniel Howard, guys, was up. Also want to say thank you to Hella, Dolly, and Rob for stopping by. So Daniel Howard they read a verdict. Let's see. There's a verdict in it. They were out for a long time, chat. Holy cow. Let's see if we can. All right, so we'll switch over to this real quick. I have not seen it, so don't spoil it. I haven't seen it yet, guys. Let's see here. We'll just air this real quick since it's... Darcy says he owes attorney's fees to Bacon's attorney in the California case. Oh, really? What happened? Was the judge pissing him for screwing around? What happens if those fees are delayed? Well, he's got a really good excuse now, like, I've been incarcerated, so the judge can't really, like, hammer him too much because, like, he can't pay, he's stuck in jail. So, that's a problem for him there, so. Daniel Laird's jury was up for longer than I thought, too, so. But, yeah, that's interesting. Nah, he should be fine. Thank you again, Darcy, for another $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Darcy's just freaking highlighting like crazy. Thank you so much. That is a good question there. So, all right. So, I did not hear the verdict. I kind of skipped over you guys were talking. So, weird. He was found guilty for stealing ammo from the state. Yeah. Well, will his YouTube channel last 180 days of no action? Hopefully, he's got people set up to handle that. He's planned for this contingency, and they could just upload garbage to keep the channel going. I don't know though. We'll see. But I mean, he'll have to restart it, and I mean, he'll have to buy more subs and viewers, which is, I mean, he does that, so he'll figure it out. His base is very loyal. They'll come back to him. But he's got a way. He's got a way. So, anyways, let's go to Daniel Howard. I'm curious to see what happens here. Why is this? Is it not showing up? Huh. That didn't want to do it. Okay, well, try this again. Alright. Chili plan, you're funny, Sean. Yeah, well. So. Alright, guys, here we go.
You may be seated. Members of the jury, I'll ask you to speak through your foreperson. Who is that? All right. Have you in fact reached a verdict?
Yes, we have.
All right. If you would hand the verdict form to my bailiff. Mr. Howard, if you would please rise. The clerk will read the jury's verdict.
In the District Court of the First Judicial District of the State of Idaho, in and for the County of Kootenai, State of Idaho versus Daniel C. Howard, we, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn to the above entitled action for our verdict, unanimously answer the questions submitted to us as follows. Count 1, is the defendant Daniel C. Howard guilty or not guilty of domestic battery? Guilty. Count 2, is the defendant Daniel C. Howard guilty or not guilty of murder in the first degree? Not guilty.
Ooh.
Is the defendant Daniel
They're gonna get him on
Howard
the second degree.
guilty or not guilty of second degree murder? Guilty.
And I'll note it's signed by the presiding officer. Members of the jury, is this in fact your verdict? So say you all?
Yes.
Do either of the attorneys wish to have the jury polled?
No.
Members of the jury, I'll tell you what happens next. I'll set this matter for sentencing. Mr. Howard is remanded into custody. Counsel, I'm proposing a sentencing date of May 23rd at 1:30 p.m. That's available. I will order a PSI or a pre-sentence investigation. Mr. Howard, I'll have you talk with your attorney about that. You have the right to participate or not participate in that. You continue to have the right to remain silent. Members of the jury, I'm going to read you a closing instruction. I'm giving you a lot of instructions during this case. You have now completed your duties as jurors in this case and are discharged with the sincere thanks of the court. The question may arise as to whether you may discuss this case with the attorneys or with anyone else. For your guidance, the court instructs you that whether you talk to the attorneys or to anyone else is
Okay, we're gonna fast forward this part. We'll watch him get carried out.
entirely to you, anyone as you look potential. If any service that you will. Going back May 23rd at 1:30 for sentencing. We will be in recess.
right, that's it. So he's facing 10 to life, guys. Minimum 10 years, not more than life. So basically proves she got mad and choked her out. Yeah. Yep. This is where it hits him. Yep. Yes, as Bronca says, don't be a criminal and defend it. I think they couldn't find any premeditation, but I think that was a compromise verdict. I think it was a compromise verdict, ultimately. I'm having a guess. There. But, yeah, I think they're arguing, like, oh, well, maybe he got mad and she accidentally died and he panicked. I don't know, though. I don't know. I'll leave that typo in there since you're a bitch if you choke your wife. What? Yeah. So, JC Adult, you're asking what's up? What was that one about? Oh, Fernando's saying, what did he do? Okay, so his wife was found dead in a bathtub with a gunshot wound through her mouth. Like, she took her pistol and went. So, there was bruising all over her body, though, in ways that didn't make any sense. So they widely suspected there was some sort of domestic incident. She died, and they staged the murder. So there was a bunch of forensic issues there. I just want to know what you're printing. I'll show you. What about the glass chickens? Yeah. Do you know if they were only going for life without parole? There was no death penalty on the table. Yes, Rob 199. Yes, there's a 3D printer going in the background. Yes. Yes, printing something. Future Mrs. Smart 2. She won't burn dinner again, that's for sure. Well, you know, the neat thing is, future Mrs. Smart 2.0 never burns dinner. She's really good. So, yes. Yes, that's going. I thought it was going to be quiet. I thought it was pretty quiet, so. Yeah, I'm reprinting this because I didn't like how this turned out after cleaning it up, so. Because this is safe. This is not real. But I didn't like it, so I'm printing something different. And I'm printing at like 5% infill so I don't waste polymer. But the other stuff I've printed out, I'm just waiting on the parts so I can print up my 22 rifle that I have. And Rob, if you want the plans for that, I'll work on trying to get those for you. It's a heck of a woman I found. Well, hey, like I said, I still think she is, you know, it's too good to be true. I think she's my federal handler. I think the feds hired her, or she's a federal agent who's meant to be my handler to make sure I don't cause problems. So, no. I use PLA+. When I do I'm going to do the FGC 9 that's Rice Cutter's working on that runs on Scorpion mags. Because I don't like everything being a Glock mag. So, Rob will turn into a cool pen, yeah. It's 3D printing Baldos, yeah. My wife never burns dinner because she never cooks, yeah. Well, the FBI weeps. No, like, the FBI is thrilled. She's done a good job. She's kept me out of trouble. Keeps me too occupied. Don't help them. Don't help them! That cackle. Hipster with your Scorpion mags. They're cooler than Glock mags. That's a lot more... Like, I'd rather have one run... I'm trying to learn how to do Fusion. I'd like to make an FGC 9 that runs on MP5 mags. Although, you're making an MP5 at that point. But I think that'd be a lot more fun. My wife burned the salad. So. Getting the FTC9 metal parts from Parts Dispense. Why wouldn't I buy them from MAF Firearms? Matt sells them. I'm considering getting a Mac 11 upper too. I've seen that too. That looks pretty neat. Some of those Mac things, the mac and cheese and some of that other stuff. Yes, I know the state is trying to prevent the guards from being deposed. Yes. Yes. Yes, I know. Yes, they're trying to keep the Otis prison guards from being deposed. Yeah, there's a lot of problems. Did I see the Megyn Kelly Ashley interview? No, I did not. Sorry. I think Matt sells some of the metal parts, yeah. So, anyways, I need to talk to you a second when you get a chance. Quick says the mac and cheese is freaking cool. Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. The mac and cheese. No, the mac and cheese is the 3D printed gun. That's a part Mac 10, part Mac 10, part Mac 11. So that's why it's called a mac and cheese. 413 people here tonight, guys. Thanks all for being here. Tomorrow night's gonna be probably a little bit later of a night. I've got to go do some attorney stuff in the afternoon. I'm a guardian ad litem on a case, so I have to go interview a child and his family. And you should read the motion for parody. It calls Gull out loud. Oh, we might do that tomorrow night, Luke. I need to, if you message me, we'll talk real quick. We'll try to organize some stuff for tomorrow. Odin is like the pagan god, yes. A bunch of, cracker-ass white guys out in the boondocks of Indiana are pagans. I like Odin, I'm sure. Odin's spear. So, Runkle, hey, how you doing, man? Good to see you here. Runkle the Bailey guys, always a very fun time. Has his Monday night shows. And I'm not sure what he's getting into lately, but yeah, Runkle, how are you doing? You just missed Chille Decastro go through his day of reckoning in court. So, there was YouTuber brawl at the court. What court? Well, what? At the Delphi case, I know some of the YouTubers got in trouble, but where was a YouTuber brawl? Or are you just being silly? You got to watch the replay? Yeah. Well, I do some yeah. Runkle of the Bailey is in the chat. YouTube.com/@Runkle of the Bailey. Oh, we had a trial in my county last week, and the AV swore her oath to Odin. Lamau. Well, see, that's why you just say under pain or penalty of perjury. Do you swear or affirm? But that's cringe. I swear to Odin. Fucking all these Norse people, like Wiccan, like you guys are all just y'all. Yeah, the true crime YouTubers one of them got kicked out of the Delphi hearing, so that was interesting. So, yeah, help me, Odin. Yeah, says the Catholic. You know what? When the Odinists hold back the Muslim hordes and keep keep Europe from getting submitted to the Caliphate, you let me know. They didn't. Can we cover Murphy v. Missouri? Yes. Yes, we can. That's another one we got to do. You know what? Maybe we'll do that tomorrow night, because it's not too long. We'll cover it, because, yes, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson delivers some beautiful jurisprudence and comments. So, she went out of her way to say it, and everybody was pissed. They couldn't question her about it. Yeah. Well, Big Happy saying, damn straight, the Winged Hussars and the Catholic League for the win. No, you got to go back farther, buddy. Charles Martel and the Battle of Tours and the Battle of Poitiers, the 700s. Those were the battles that kept, because Tariq and the marauding Moors, as they were coming up, and as they had annihilated the Visigoth kings in the south, in Spain, which is funny because those were the Visigoths. Yes, the Germanic tribes and all that. They had pushed all the way into Hispania and had become the kings there when the Moors crossed the strait. So, after they defeated them, they ran headlong through Spain and then up into France, and they were repulsed. That was the first time. So, go back. You got to go back another 900 years. The arrest warrant is 2 pages, and do it right now. Well, send it to me. Which one is it? They did a arrest warrant they never executed, or a search warrant? You see the link you sent me about HGR. Human growth? What HGR? Well, hold on. Oh, did you send it to me on Twitter? Everybody's sending me links. What? Hold on here. What did you send me? Hella. I don't have it, so. Heller, nor. Hold on here. So it's a search. So it's a search warrant that they. Yeah, no. I want to go over this tomorrow, Luke. This is the good stuff. That's massive, and that needs to be considered along with everything else, because that's reasonable doubt right there that they did not do anything. So no, that's not an arrest warrant. It's a search warrant. That search warrant is reasonable doubt for Richard Allen. And I want to save that for tomorrow when we do it all, because we're going to do it all tomorrow. Heck, you know what? We might do it all tomorrow and then do the Supreme Court stuff. Did I hear the Illinois judge who decided illegal immigrants have two-way rights? Well, I mean, think about it. If you come into this country, like, why don't, I'm not going to sell her a gun. I'm like, here's how I look at it. I'm not selling her a gun. She has a gun, cool. She should still get deported. Fair enough. But I hate the fact you can't, the fact you are here, you have every other constitutional right available to you, just not the Second Amendment. You have every other right available to you. I think that's a problem. Now, what does this also mean? Once again, guys, this is another way to just go cut through the Gun Control Act. So, yeah. Don't make me go full Polton on you with his Catholic history. Yes, it all started in 784 with Rutar the Great. Hannah Banana Gorbet. Hannah Gutierrez in private chat. Oh, yes, I saw that. Yes, we'll talk about that. Yes. Yeah, her attorney is claiming there's an issue with the jury instructions. And, there might be something there, but I'll have to take a look at that because I don't know the case law there. Yeah, Delphi lost the universe. Delphi, the police lost 70 days of discovery and evidence. 70 days of reports, interviews, anything they did. There's like a 70-day window where they don't have anything now. What did you do by the time? I don't know. Yes, it's super funny that, yes, the long and the short is the police found evidence of a guy trying to kidnap somebody on video and they didn't do shit about it. So, Clemson filed a lawsuit against the ACC. Ag, send me some stuff on that. Yes. Runkle's right. He should have... Because here's the deal, guys. If he visits the United States, he should have a Second Amendment right. Right now, he can touch a firearm. Runkle could go to a range and shoot a firearm. But if Runkle was sitting in his hotel room in the middle of the night and he called me up and said, hey, Sean, I need some iron. You know what I can't do? I can't give it to him and leave. He cannot possess a firearm as a non-permanent resident. The only people legally who can right now are illegals in the state of Illinois, like in the District of Illinois, or people who have who have permanent residency visa or a green card. So if you're here on a student visa, if you're here on a travel visa, no. If you're here on a work visa, no. There's limits to what you can possess. You have to have the right kind of papers. So, yeah, everybody should have the right. The Michelle Contreras contempt hearing is coming up. Yes, it is. The case was decided 4 days ago in the Hannah Reid argument. Yeah, but it's still helpful. It's still helpful. Runkle's gonna move here someday. Oh, he might. He might. I hope he hopes Canada gets better. So. How can we get in with the background check needed? I don't know. You know how it works in Ohio? Here's how it works in Ohio. Oh, hey, do you have money? Yes, here's money. Oh, thank you. I gave you money. Thank you. Oh, here, I get a gun. Thank you very much. So there you go. So, Porcelain Thunder says full citizens only. What about every other right? I mean, that's not how it works. Hella says, so I couldn't give you a firearm. I could go to a range with you. Me and you could go to a range, Hella. Or we could, drive into the middle of, the east side of Cleveland, and I could pop open the trunk, the hatch on our car, and I could hand you a rifle, and you could just start, just start shooting out streetlights and shooting at people randomly. But I couldn't let you take it and just go wander off on your own. You're going to go on a vacation, so I give you a pistol, and you drive across country. I can't do that. So, yes, yes, only if you promise not to tell anyone. You posted the Clemson article on my page. Thank you. Yes, basically you had to be supervised, Hella. So, you have to work on speaking American English. So you can be like, hello, fellow Americans. I bought a gun to shoot at people. And everybody be like, welcome, sister. Follow-up question. Do you want me to have a firearm? Sure. Hell, I want you to have a crew-served mortar. I want you to have a flamethrower. I want you to have a Russian grad rocket launcher that you have to roll out of your garage every morning, and you just start chucking 120 millimeter rockets randomly into Brisbane's downtown center, and just shelling people. You should have that right. You want to give them that Bakhmut feeling, you have that right. Yeah, Australian women basically sound like men anyways. Yes, the Sheilas are very strong. Flamethrowers, but the neat thing is flamethrowers are not federally regulated. Very few states regulate flamethrowers. So you can already have a flamethrower. It's not federally regulated. If you come to Chicago, Kimbo says, if you come to Chicago, I will give you a switchy. Yeah. There you go. So guys, yeah, that is it for tonight. Tomorrow night, let's say 7:30 will be my goal. 7:30, 8 o'clock will be the goal tomorrow. If I get done earlier, I will put a notice up in locals. But yeah, we got 420. Oh my God, we got the magic number. Don't change it. Don't change it. Don't change it. Wow, 420 watching total. We got 187 people watching on Twitter. Hello, Twitter people. Hello. What are y'all doing out there? Say something. Yeah, thank you guys for being out there. I don't know what you're talking about over there, but Twatter's coming in hot. Yeah, some hot Twatter action. I know. Show Hella a switchy. Oh, Hella, switchies? Here, yeah, there's switchies. Hold on here. We got switchies. Switchies go on the back of Glocks. And it's a little thing on the back of a Glock you install. It makes it full auto. In fact, here's some switchies.
I told you my dude I told you it's gonna get. We don't play with no regular nigga. On my butter. We do. Don't play my slide. On folks great, we'll guess like that. Switchy. No talk. No cap. No talk. Who's game? 3 switches right here. And I put the that's just enough right there. That's enough. 1, 2, 3. That's enough. Yeah, big we don't even get that shit off.
Yes, you're looking at 13-year-olds playing with fully automatic weapons. Yep. Pretty cool. The Twitter numbers are fictional. Shh, Runkle. Shh. Don't say that. I don't get not a lot of people, Runkle, not a lot of people watch me. I need all the numbers I can for my ego. Okay? This is a self-esteem issue right now. You're not helping. Elon's watching. Hi, Daddy Elon. Yes, the way God intended, 13-year-olds with guns. Yes, Illinois' response is give illegals guns, and Chicago sues Glock for the switchies. Yep. Yeah, that's another thing, too. Also suing Kia for cars being stolen. Hella says they are children. And I've seen pictures of Africa. Those kids younger than them handle AK-47s. Those kids are handling pistols, and they're being pretty safe about it. They're not pointing them at each other. I mean, they got trigger control, so I mean, they're working on it. Also, guys, I did want to state, Legal Vices, Jeff, you're here. Hello. It's like everybody's like hanging out here tonight. Guys, I wanted to give word of this. I wanted to make sure we all are on the same page for it. Friday night at 11 p.m. So 11 p.m. Eastern time in the evening. Jeff in Legal Vices is going to be joining us and kind of talking about, we're going to have some fun, have some drinks, but it's like piracy, commerce, and shit posting. Just about, what he does in the maritime industry, his experiences working overseas, and then just having some fun and having some road pops. I'm definitely going to be, Brandon, if you're out there, I plan on getting toe up. So we're going to have some fun. That is Friday night at 11 p.m., guys. So that'll be a lot of fun. If you guys are really cool, you'll figure out what that background map is for. So be there or be careful. Yes. Be there or be careful. Will we get pirates? I don't know. Maybe we will. Yes. Is that in the background Somalia? No, that is the Strait of Malacca, the biggest shipping choke point in the world, which has its own issues of piracy, believe it or not, because it runs in between Sumatra and Malaysia. And it's where Singapore's on the one end and Kuala Lumpur is on the other. So it's a bombing run map. No, it's just the navigation charts. Overall. Which is Saturday at 11 a.m. Australian time, yes. So, yes, Jeff recently just got 70K. 70K viewers, guys. Yeah, YouTube.com/Legal Vices, or at Legal Vices. So, yeah, it'll be a lot of fun, guys. We'll be, I'll be starting out probably, we'll start out talking, asking questions. If you guys have questions, bring them up, and then obviously we're gonna have some fun. I've been looking forward to this. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Cause here's the thing, guys. I don't care about you. You guys may have questions too, but I've got all kinds of questions I want to talk about. There's all kinds of shit I want to ask Jeff because there's questions I want to know about what he does and all those different things. We've got all kinds of crazy shit going on out in the world right now. Going on the Baba and Dobbs Strait, the gates of grief. The gates of grief, as the Houthis call it. The gates of grief, as they are fucking sinking Western shipping. How does that work? What do all the things happen there? I want to know about Asian. Say, is Defense Diaries on right now? You know what? I'm going to send you guys their way. There's some good people. Sir Marhaus for 14 months says, hey, this isn't money. Don't get excited. Love you. You know what, though? You've been a member 14 months, man. That does get me excited. That's really... It's cool. It means a lot to me. I appreciate that so much. So yeah, guys, that is it for us. I am going to send you to... I'm going to send you over to the Defense Diaries. They're Bob and Ali Mata. They are a couple of attorneys out of Illinois. Apparently not in Indiana, but in Illinois, out of Chicago. And Bob Mata was involved in, I believe, John Wayne Gacy's case as a defense attorney. Very good defense attorney. His wife's defense attorney, too. They've been covering what happened at Delphi. Bob himself went to Delphi to go watch the hearings. They've been very much involved in it. And, yeah, I've been trying to work with them on doing some stuff coming up. And I think you guys will enjoy them and what they do. So I'm going to send you their way real quick. Hopefully they let me do it. Oh, they are open. Okay, good. I'm going to send you guys their way. At least give them they're going to talk about what happened at the hearings. I think they're very, very good to listen to. Bob Mata certified based. Yes, he is. He's very based. So, J-Rock says, never mind what? Never mind what? Hella Fire per stream would have Sean to you. Oh. Sorry, I was trying to catch up there. Are Naviphiles? You're not really helping this here, sweetheart. Yes, it's funny when Hella says, Sean is a former. Yeah, it's like... Yes, Bob is basically me, but healthy and less racist. Well, I don't know about the healthy part, but maybe the less racist part. So I gotta go play with my trains. So, all right, guys, I will. I'm gonna go ahead and send you their way. Thank you, everybody tonight. Thank you, everybody. Super chats. Oh, AJ Arguello for $10. Praise to Spain. Thank you. Praise to Spain for God's gift through conquest. Latinas. Yes. May God bless Castile and Aragon. And Asturias. And may the doors on the Church of San Diego de Compostela stay there for another 1,000 years. Never to be removed again. So, some history. Look that shit up. That's a pretty cool part of the Reconquista. And, yeah, guys. So, thank you so much for everybody here. Twitter, Twitch, Rumble, YouTube, guys. Thank you so very much. I'll see you guys later. Take care, everybody. Good night.